Hey everybody, this is Russell Brunson. I want to welcome you guys to List Building Secrets. We're going to be getting started in a few minutes. Before I get started actually recording the course live on stage, I just wanted to come jump in and say hey to everybody. I can't believe how excited you guys were for this. We had so many people register. We've got tons of people already on YouTube, on Facebook, on our live page, just all over the place watching this. So I want to thank you guys in advance for that. This is something I've done a couple times in the past, and it was really, really fun, but especially right now in the middle of this coronavirus where I just wanted to hang out with people. So we were going to film this course anyway, and I was like, we should do this live. That way we can hang out, and hopefully everyone who's at home bored or trying to figure out what to do with their life, or they're trying to figure out how to grow their business, that you can hang out with me, and we're going to talk about some cool things. And so I'm excited. So those who don't know the plan, what's happening over the next 3 days, I'm filming a new course that's going to be inside of FunnelFlix, and it's called List Building Secrets. And so what's going to happen, I'm going to do a session right now. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back to another session. So it'll be 2 sessions each day. Tomorrow I got a special guest lecturer, that what you call it, a guest presenter, guest speaker, coming tomorrow morning to talk about some really cool email stuff that you're gonna love. And then tomorrow afternoon, I got another really cool session. And then Friday, we got 2 sessions as well. So it's 6 sessions. The schedule should be on the page when you registered, and the emails and all the stuff like that. And so that's kind of what's happening. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be, anyway, I'm excited for it. So in a minute, I'm going to get up on stage and officially start the course. Like I said, this is something that you guys are seeing behind the scenes of me recording live. And so, yeah, one thing that would be super, super helpful for me as I'm going through this, if you have like the aha or the idea or the thing where you write down notes, instead of just writing it down, if you can put it in the Facebook or the YouTube comments, my team's looking at those and grabbing those comments, and they will help me. I'll be looking at those between different sessions, just to get ideas of what things you guys are liking, what things you want more of, all that kind of stuff, as I'm literally preparing the slides each day. I was up this morning super early getting today's presentations done. I'll be doing the same thing for tomorrow. So I'm building this kind of in real time with you guys. So any feedback, questions, comments, ahas, please post them in the comments. We'll look at those. We'll grab them. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So again, there's 6 sessions. This first one's going to be kind of introduction to list building, hopefully to sell you guys on the concept of why list building is so important, how it all works. After that, we're going to go deeper into like how to build actual lead magnets. We're going to go into writing email sequences, different campaigns, and a whole bunch of other really cool things. So I'm excited. It's going to be a fun time, but that's about it. So anything else I should tell you guys before we get started? Okay, so in 10 seconds, I'm gonna get on stage here and I'm gonna restart this as if it is a live course because it will be the course. That sound good? All right, okay, come on, let's go. Here we go. Hey everyone, my name is Russell Brunson. I want to welcome you to the List Building Secrets training course. I'm so excited to have you guys here today. This is a training that I've wanted to do for a long time, probably because it is I would say probably one of the most valuable lessons I ever learned in my marketing career. I think I'm on 17 or 18 years now in this business. And I was lucky enough to have a mentor when I very first got started. His name's Mark Joyner. Some of you guys know Mark. He was my very first mentor as I was learning this game. And I want to take you back in time. So if you go back to when I got started 17, 18 years ago, the internet was way different than it is today. We didn't have Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all these amazing tools we have today. But what we did have were we had email lists. And that was kind of that was one tool we had as marketers. And we had to figure out ways to grow our email list. And it was different then. It was harder. It was way harder. We didn't have the ability to go buy ads on Facebook or do these things that are simple nowadays. But we understood that that was the most important thing. And at that time, there were a bunch of other crazy things happening online. For those who've been around for a long time, you may remember like the Google AdSense days, where when Google AdSense first came out, you could literally throw some ads on a site and make a crappy site. They'd rank really easy in the search engines, and you can make a ton of money doing almost nothing. And I remember because I was getting started in this game, I was learning, I was so excited. And Mark was my first mentor. He's like, you need to build a list. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna build a list. I'm gonna follow what my mentor says. We started building a list. And all of a sudden over here on the side, this Google AdWords thing came out, a Google AdSense thing came out. And I had friends that were making $50,000, $100,000, $500,000 a month on AdSense. And I was like, I want to do that. I don't want to build a list because that seems like way more fun, way easier. Like they're doing nothing and making money. And so I'm like the shiny object syndrome over here. So I started trying to leave to go over here. And then my mentor, Mark, was like, no, focus on building a list. He's like, that's going to disappear. I'm like, no, but they're making so much money doing nothing. He's like, I know it's going to disappear. I promise. Like, focus on this. This is the fundamentals of all businesses, having a list. I was like, oh, like angry student, like, okay, fine. I'm going to listen to my mentor. So I'm going back and I'm focusing on building a list. My list is growing slowly. At first, it was like, I think month number 1, I got 217 people on my list. Month number 2 was like 1,000. Month number 3 was like 3,000. It was a slow process. All my buddies were over here making a ton of money, but he kept telling me, focus on building a list, focus on building a list. And luckily for me, I listened to him because I watched as this went to this thing where a bunch of people made a bunch of money, and then it literally disappeared overnight. I had friends 15, 16, 17 years ago who were making insane amounts of money there that when it disappeared, they lost it all. And then they never figured it out again. They went back to the real world, went back to their own, getting jobs and all those kind of things. And they missed out on really the power of internet marketing because they were focused on the shiny object that worked for a little while. And so what I want to talk about is stuff that's evergreen. I've been doing this now 17, 18 years, and this still is our key focus is how do we build lists? How do you build lists? And so because that, I talk about it a lot, but I've never done an official course, official training showing behind the scenes of what we do and how we do it. Right now we have an email list over 2 million people, and people ask me all the time, like, how did you build your list so big? I'm like, it's not that hard, but it's just understanding a couple core principles. And those are the things I'm going to be teaching you guys over the next couple of days, which I'm really excited for. And so that's kind of the game plan. And so list building is the key. If any of you guys have had a chance to read the Traffic Secrets booklet yet or listen to the audiobook, I spend so much time talking about the list because of all the types of traffic that are out there. You can have, you can buy ads, you can get free traffic. There's all these different ways to get traffic and things like that. But the best traffic by far, the best of all of them is your own traffic. It's your own list, right? It's the only asset. It's the commodity that you hold. It's the commodity that you own. You think about, like, I remember when I was learning this, the very first time, however many years ago it was, I remember at the time, like, I watched eBay bought Skype for like $2 or $3 billion. I remember looking at that, I was so confused. I'm like, eBay at the time was the biggest e-commerce company in the world, if you guys remember. And I was like, why would they buy Skype for $2 or $3 billion? Like, they could have just cloned the software. Like, the software wasn't that hard for them to clone. And it wasn't until somebody explained to me, said, no, they don't really care about the software. They bought the customer list. They wanted the 100,000 new users a day joining Skype. Like, that's the asset that eBay bought from Skype. I was like, oh, you look at the acquisitions today. Look at, like, why did Facebook buy Instagram for $1 billion? Why these big acquisitions happen? It's not that Facebook couldn't have built Instagram, right? It's because they want the customers, they want the people. Like that's the most valuable part of any business. When you understand that, then it just shifts it and makes it become the focus of your business. If you look at here at ClickFunnels, every single day we do a live, we call it the ClickFunnels Pulse meeting, where we go in the entire team. We've got 400 people from all around the world. We jump on a 7-minute meeting every single morning to share our stats, right? These are the KPIs, the numbers that are happening across the whole company. So we know what's working, what's not working. One of the core KPIs we look at every single day is how many people joined our list today. Like that's the number, because it's so vital, it's so important. It literally is like, it's like putting your finger on the pulse of like the lifeblood of your company. Is it doing good? Are we growing? Are new people coming in? If not, if that number shrinks or stops, you're in big trouble. Okay. I remember one of my friends, Dagan Smith, this is, probably 7 or 8 years ago. I had been building a list, but it wasn't, I spent a while building a list, and it got to a certain size, and I stopped worrying about growing because I have a list. And so I'd email my list. And every time I do it, they would get, the returns get smaller and smaller, less people would open, less people would read, till eventually my business started shrinking. I remember talking to Dagan one day, and he said, well, how many people joined your list today? And I was like, what? He said, yeah, how many people joined your list today? I'm like, I have no idea. I've never looked at that. I know I have a list, but I don't know how many people joined today. And he's like, you need to look at that number. And what you know about any kind of numbers or things in life, like what we measure grows, right? In all circumstances, unless you're trying to lose weight, then what you measure should hopefully shrink. Right? But everything else, it grows, right? And so he told me that. And so I said, well, let me look. I looked at my stats. I remember looking at my email autorespondent at the time, and I was getting like 20 people a day joining. And as soon as I looked at that, I said, okay, I'm gonna look at this every single day. This is gonna be the KPI, the key performance indicator, KPI of my business is how many people joined my list today. And I started looking at that every day. And first it was 20. The next day it was 22. The next day it was 23. But I kept looking at that. As I kept looking at that number every single day, I started subconsciously being annoyed by it. Like, why is it not growing? Why is it not bigger? And then because of that, I started doing different things. I started focusing different areas. And soon that went from 20 people a day to 100 people a day to 500 people a day to 1,000 people a day to 5,000 people a day, because we started focusing on it. So for you guys, like that's what I just want to, before I dive into this, like help you understand the importance of building a list. Like it is the key metric we look here in ClickFunnels in any business is how many people per day are joining your list. If you're not looking at that, then you're looking at the wrong metrics. Okay, this is the lifeblood of your company. So, all right. So with that said, I'm going to jump right in because I'm starting to get ahead of myself, some of the stuff I want to share with you. So the first thing I want you guys to understand, this first session is all about helping you understand that the money in any business is in the list. Okay, this is the big secret. This is the big aha. This is the thing I need you guys all to understand. The money is in the list. Okay, now if you go back in time, this is even before I started internet marketing, but this is some pictures of me back when I first got started in this game. The picture on the left-hand side there is me when the day I was leaving to college. So those who know some of my backstory, I talk about this in the .com Secrets book. I got kind of addicted to junk mail. Kind of the long story short, it started with one night I was watching an infomercial with my dad with Don Lepre, and it was a Don Lepre infomercial about how to make money with tiny classified ads. I remember I got so excited, I bought the course, saved a bunch of money, bought the course. It came to me, and then basically was telling me I need to place classified ads. And as a 12-year-old kid, I didn't have money to buy classified ads, but I was interested in like making money. And a little while later, I remember going with my mom to the grocery store, and we were going through the checkout stand. There's a bunch of magazines. One of the magazines there was called Small Business Opportunity Magazine. I remember looking at the magazine, and it was like all these different ways to make money. And there's some cartoons on it. Some of you guys have probably seen this magazine. It's still in publication today. So I got the magazine. I was like, Mom, can you please buy this for me? And luckily she said yes. It was like $4. She bought the magazine for me. I went home. I started flipping through it, and I remember counting. I think there's like 140 pages in this magazine, and there were 4 pages of articles, which means there was 136 pages of ads for different ways to make money. And for me, I was just like, this is the most amazing thing in the world. Like there's idea after idea. Like one was like, here's how to get gold chains and go sell them at the mall. And the other was like, here's how to paint stars on the ceiling that glow in the dark, and you sell that to people, and then they go to bed and they will see the sky in their bedroom. And then there's another one, and like I flipped through thing after thing. I was like, these are all the best ideas in the world how to make money. And so what happened is every single one of those, they would have a 1-800 number in it, right? And so I'd call the 1-800 number, and then they'd send me, and I'd say, hey, I want a free report. I want a free info kit. I want more information about how to make money, with the gold chains or with the stars on the ceiling, whatever. So I would do that, and they'd send me something in the mail. I would read it, and that thing then would sell me on whatever their product or service was. And so this picture right here is me, because in high school, every single day, the mailman would literally knock on our door because he couldn't fit all the junk mail. I put junk mail in quotes because it's like This was like the foundation of everything for me. But he couldn't fit the junk mail in the mailbox, and so he'd come knock on the door and give it to my parents. So I'd come home from junior high and high school, and they'd be like on the bar in the kitchen. There'd be like my mom and dad's like 1 or 2 letters, the bill collectors and stuff, and then my stack of junk mail. I'd come home all excited. I'd grab the stack of junk mail. I'd go walk in my room. I sit on the bed and I start reading letter after letter, reading sales letter after sales letter after sales letter. Some people think this is why I'm so messed up today and I'm so obsessed with marketing and selling online, but it's because when I was 12 years old, that's what I was doing. So this picture here is when I was going to college, my mom said she was going to throw my junk mail away. So I got one last picture with it before she tossed it away. And looking back now, like I would give anything to have that junk mail. Can you imagine rereading these sales letters from 30 years ago? But anyway, so that's kind of how I got started in this game, is I was reading these sales letters, right? And I want to start here because I want to help you understand how this whole game worked offline before we come online, okay? Because this is not something new. It's not something I invented or anybody invented on the internet. This has been happening ever since the Pony Express, right? The first time there was a dude on a horse delivering mail, that's when this whole industry began, okay? And so I want to walk you through how offline list building works. Because you understand this, and it'll make online make way more sense. So offline is how it works, okay? Just like me, I got a magazine, flipping through the pages, and all of a sudden there's this ad there, right? So this ad says, and go from roofs to riches. So there's an ad there, you read it, and then there's like either thing you can cut out and you can mail in for more information, or there's a 1-800 number. You call that number and you request a free information kit or free report or something like that, right? The free report would come to you in the mail, right? And you read it, you're like, oh, this is so cool. You're reading the report, and the report would give you information. It would train you, educate you. And the end of the report, it would then sell some product, some service, something, right? And so in this case, this right here, at the end of it, it was sold this course, which I ended up buying. It was a bunch of CDs, and they bought the course at the end of it. Okay, and that's how offline worked, okay? And so this is how people were building up their own offline lists, okay? They run ads in magazines, newspapers, classified ads. They get somebody to call or send an email in, or sorry, it's pre-email. They call or send in like an actual letter in the mail, and then that person would send them out a letter, and now this person was on their list, okay? And then they could send letters to that person over and over and over again because they knew this person was interested in the product or the service that they're selling, okay? That's how it worked. Okay. Now, I want you to understand the same thing's true online. The money is in the list. So our job is to figure out how in the world, like, what can I do? What can I create to get people to come to me like a magnet, right? If I can get people to come to me to join my list, that is the big secret. That's how you really start understanding this game. Okay. And some of you guys have heard me tell this story before. I tell the story in the Traffic Secrets book. But this picture right here, this is actually the very first house my wife and I lived in. I remember my dad for my birthday one year gave me Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I had the book, and it sat next to my bedstand for probably 6 or 7 months. And one night I couldn't fall asleep. My wife had passed. I looked over, I saw the book. I was like, I'm not really a reader, but I guess I'm going to read this book. So I grabbed Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I start reading it. And I did what a lot of you guys do. I read the entire thing in a night. And I was just like, what? Like freaking out. Like it was like the best book one of the only books I'd ever read, but it was the best book I'd read. First time I'd been like sucked into just like, oh my gosh, like understand money and finance, all these things. And I remember like I stayed up all night reading it and I couldn't fall asleep. I was sitting in bed, like waiting for my wife to wake up, just waiting and waiting. And then finally, at 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever, she like wakes up and looks over and I'm just like staring at her. She's like, whoa, what's going on? I'm like, we're buying a duplex. She's like, what are you talking about? Like, we're going to buy a duplex. We're going to live in Africa. We're going to have the other half. We're going to be living for free. It's going to be amazing. Then we're going to build a real estate empire. And she was like, what are you talking about? Next day that day I called one of my buddies who was a realtor. And within a week, we found this house and we bought it. And my wife and I lived in the top. In fact, that window is where our bedroom was. And then in the bottom basement, we rented it out. And I was just like, this is the greatest thing in the world, okay? Now, as I'm here living in this house, is where I'm starting this journey of trying to figure out how to make money. I'm trying thing after thing. I'm trying real estate. I'm trying network marketing, internet marketing, like a whole bunch of things. And somewhere in that journey, and I wish I could find the article or give the person credit for it because I was reading so many different things. And unfortunately, I tried really hard. When I was writing the Traffic Secrets book, I tried to find the original article so I could like read it to everybody. I couldn't find it. But the gist of the article was, it says something like, do you think all those gurus who talk about making 20K in a weekend are a scam? And I was like, oh, like it's got to be. There's no way someone makes 20 grand in a weekend. Like I come from a world where people make 20 grand a year, right? That doesn't make any sense that someone makes that in a weekend. And I'm reading this article. And he says, while this may seem far-fetched that someone make 20 or 30 grand in a weekend, it's actually true. And I was like, wait, what? And he said, let me explain how the whole thing works. He said, what happens is these gurus, they focus on building email lists and to get email lists of 10,000 or 100,000 or a million people, right? He says, let's just say for numbers, you have 100,000 people on your list, right? He says, if they decide to create a new product, they can send an email or 2 or 3 emails out to that list. It goes out to 100,000 people. If they just get 1% of the people to buy or 0.1% of the people to buy a $50 product, he was doing the math. It ends up being like $36,000. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's It's just a numbers game. It's not some magical thing. It's the same thing these direct mail guys were doing back in the day. They had a big mailing list. They send out 100,000 letters and hope that 2 or 3% of people would buy the product. It's the same thing that's happening through email. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is huge. I didn't know what to do. All I knew was like, I need an email list. Like it clicked in my head. It made sense. I was like, if I have 100,000 people on my list, I send the email out. If I get 1% to buy, it's 1% of 100,000 with 1,000 people. I get 1% to buy a $30 product. It's $30,000 from one email. What if I send out 2 emails? What if I send out 2 emails a day or a week or a month? Like I was just freaking out. I was so excited by this concept, right? And so I didn't know how to build a list. None of the stuff I'm about to teach you made any sense to me. I just knew like I needed a list. Like I was just, that was the key to freedom for me. And so I started running like, how do I get a list? How do I get a list? I'm Googling everything I can. And in the process of my Googling, somehow I magically fell upon the greatest website of all time. I think it was like spamfreeemailaddresses.com or something like that. And it went there. It was like, you could buy DVDs with millions of email addresses that were spam-free email addresses, whatever that meant. And I remember there's like, you can get 100,000 list, a 500,000 list, or a 1,000,000 person list. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get a 1,000,000 person list. It was like $80 or something. So I spent $80. I bought this DVD with 1,000,000 people on the list, and I just waited. And I'm like waiting, and I'm like freaking out in my apartment. I'm like doing the math, like 1,000,000 people. If I send it out, if I get 1% to buy, what's the look? I'm like, that's too much money. That's gotta be too good to be true. What if 0.1% buy? What if 0.11%? What if 0.0001% buy? But I send out 2 emails a day or 2 emails a week. Like what happened? I'm doing the math and numbers, and I'm just dreaming of what's possible, right? Waiting. And it took me 2 or 3 weeks before the DVD showed up in the mail. When it finally showed up, I was just like, oh, like this was the thing. This was like, I had now had a list, just like all the people, all the gurus who are making all this money. I had a list now too. I was so excited. I remember, back then there weren't like email autoresponders like we have inside of ClickFunnels right now. It was like different. You had to have a desktop software. So you had desktop software, you plug in the list and you send emails. And it took me, probably a week or two to figure out how to, all the pieces glued together. Right? Like I had to buy the software to do it. And then I'd like call my internet service provider, open up port something like port 80, or I don't know, there's some weird thing. I open up some certain port, they do mass marketing, and then I like put the DVD and put all the names in email addresses and software, then write an email and you click send. And so that's like a week or two of like getting all set up. I remember I wrote the email, I was like, okay, this is it. I remember like, I still like vividly remember that night, like getting there, sitting on my little desk with my wife. We're in a little tiny house here. And I remember telling her, I was like, okay, and I sat there and I'm like, I want to show you the math on this. There's 1,000,000 people on this list. I'm like, if 0.1% of people buy, I did the whole thing with her. I'm like, we're going to be rich. I'm like, you can literally quit tomorrow because I'm sending emails out tonight. Go ahead, tell your boss that you're done. And she was like, I don't know, smiled like, okay, like, this wasn't the first thing that I had tried. So she kind of smiled and like, okay. And she went to bed that night. I remember, and back then these were before we had like high-speed internet. It was dial-up modems. I crawled under the desk. I unplugged my phone, plugged in the modem, came back out, queued it all up, and I clicked send. Boom. And I remember it was like email 1 getting sent. Boom. Email 2. Boom. Email 3. Boom. 4, 5, 6. And I'm just like, this is it. I remember going to bed laying there like a kid on Christmas, like waiting for Santa Claus to come, like thinking like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is amazing. Every couple hours sneaking out, like, oh, we sent 200 emails, like going back down, like doing the math in my head again. And like, it was a restless night. I was so excited. And finally somewhere in the middle of the night, I finally passed out and fell asleep. And then, the next morning I woke up and I was kind of laying there and my wife had already woken up. She's getting ready for work. And she's like, hey, Russell, I need to use the phone. I was like, what? She's like, I need to use the phone, but your computer's still connected. I'm like, oh. So I jumped out of bed, I ran over, looked at the thing, and there was like 6,800 emails had been sent so far. And I was like, 6,800 all night? Like, I'm supposed to spend 1,000,000 people. It's gonna take forever. I was all frustrated. And then she's like, I need to use the phone. I was kind of annoyed, like, you can't use the phone right now. So I ended up going back. I paused the sending, went back, crawled on the desk, unplugged the modem, plugged back in her phone. And while I'm under the desk, the phone rings. And I'm like, what? So I kind of come out, I pick up the phone, and on the other end is my internet service provider screaming at me, yelling, dropping the F-bomb and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, because it was a local internet service provider. He's like, we've got like 600 spam complaints in the last couple hours from you. Like, what are you doing? All this stuff. And I was like, no, I try to explain. Like, no, you don't understand. Like, I got these email addresses from a website. It's called Spam for Email Addresses. Like, these people want to be spammed. Like, they're asking for it. And he's like going back and forth. I still remember he stopped. And the one sentence I remember him saying, he said, son, that is the definition of spam. And I was just like, what? And I was so confused and so frustrated. And I remember him yelling at me. And then he shut down my internet service provider and everything. And I remember being kind of dazed. And then he hung up. And Klut's like, who is that? And I'm like, just some guy. And she's like, cool. She's like, can I use the phone now? I'm like, oh, here you go. So I give her the phone. I'm like, wait, real quick. Don't quit your job yet. Like, give me a couple more days to kind of like iron this thing out. And she kind of laughed and took the phone and did her thing. And the rest of the day was kind of a blur. I remember like putting my backpack on, walking to school, like just being all bummed out, getting to my classroom, listening to my teachers, like can't pay attention. And all of a sudden I was like, I wonder if I got any sales. So I literally did that thing when you're in, all my college students remember this. You're in class and you're sitting there, you're like faking like you have to go to the bathroom. Like, I gotta go to the bathroom. The teacher's like gives you the nod, like you run out, and the computer lab is right around the corner. So I ran into the computer lab, sat down, I checked my email, and then I logged into my PayPal account because that's where I'd send people in the email to buy. And every time I logged my PayPal account prior to that day, there's always a big 0 right there. And that day I logged in and it's like the screen's loading, and all of a sudden it shows the screen, and instead of 0, there was 70. I was like, what? It was $70. And the thing I'd sold was $5. I'd sold whatever the equivalent of that for, whatever the math is on that. I'd sold $70 worth of this thing. I remember sitting there being like, oh my gosh, I did it wrong, but it worked. But it was the proof of concept, like, oh my gosh, this thing actually works. I just got to figure out the right way to do it. Like, hey, I did it the illegal spamming way, but there are people doing it the right way. How are they doing it? What are they doing? I got to figure this out because there's a way to do this. And so I went back and I started trying to figure out this game, trying to figure out how in the world do you build a list. And that's how I ended up bumping into Mark Joyner, who's my first mentor. And he was the one that's like, focus on building a list. And I bought his course. I got obsessed with it. And for the last now 16, 17 years of my life, it's been becoming an obsession. And so that's what I want you guys to understand. There's a right way to do it. But like when you do it, man, it'll change everything for you and for your business. Like it is the key to growing and scaling a company. So, all right. So there's my spam story. All right. So to kind of preface this, I want to put this out here at the very beginning so you guys can see the vision of what's possible. And then we're going to break it down and start showing you guys what it looks like and how it works and all those kind of things. Okay. So first you got to understand, this is basic marketing math. Now, I actually learned this. I think it was initially Mike Filson who told me this. I'm not 100% positive. But he told me when he was building his list and I was building my list at about the same time, he said, look, Russell, he's like, you should be able on average to make about $1 per name per month on your email list. And at first that didn't really make sense to me. I'm like, well, how do you make money from your email? Like, I didn't understand the whole thing. He's like, if you do this process right, you should be able to do that. And sure enough, as I launched my first little website, the very first month of me focusing on building my list, I got about 217. I remember the number. 217 people joined my email list. And from those 217 people, that month I made like $300. The next month I had about 1,000 people on my list. I made a little over like $1,200, something like that. Next month I had 3,000 people on my list. It was like $3,000 or $4,000. Next month was 5, and it pretty much synced that really, really closely. Okay, so this is the number I want you guys thinking in your head. Like, how many people are joining my list every single day, right? If I'm making $1 per month per name on my email list, like that should be like the metric. Now, just so you guys know, as we go through the next 3 days, this number is actually really, really low. In fact, if I only made $1 per month on my email list, I'd be very upset and very frustrated at this point. Okay, so this is like a low baseline, but it gives you guys a number to make something tangible, right? So if you're like, I want to make $1,000 a month, like, okay, you need to get 1,000 people on your email list. Okay, if you want to grow it to 10,000 people a month, you're gonna make 10,000 people on your list, 10,000 a month, 100,000 people on your list, 100,000 a month, etc. Okay, so if you're starting a business and you know the goal, like I want to make a business that makes me 6 figures a year. I need a business that makes me $1 million a year. I need a business that makes me $10 million a year. You just reverse engineer and say, okay, if I want to make 6 figures a year, if I have 10,000 people on my list times 10,000 and times 12 months, that's $120,000 a year. You're 6 figures a year. Okay, if you want $1 million a year, you get 100,000 people on your list times 12 months. That's $1.2 million a year. Okay, and that's if you're doing it like at the $1 per month. And some people get less than that. Some people get way more than that. We'll talk about kind of why here in a minute. But this is kind of the base metric. Okay, the reason why I like sharing this is because then it gives a tangible thing. Like, okay, if I get 10 people join my list today, right? Remember I told you guys earlier how like the KPI of my company, how many people join my list today? Okay. The nice thing about this whole internet business you guys have is every morning you should wake up and ask yourself the question, how do I give myself a raise today? Okay, it's not like a traditional job. You're like, I'm going to go back to school for 3 years to get my master's so I can get a raise. Here in your own business, the question is, how do I get more people to join my list so I can give myself a raise every day, right? If you're getting 30 people to join your list today, it means you're giving yourself a $30 a month raise. If you get 100 people a day, it's $30. That's a $100 a month raise per day you're giving yourself, right? So that becomes the focus point. You see how that starts growing really, really quickly? Okay, so that becomes the focus point as you're starting to grow your business. Okay. Now, again, the $1 per name per month is on the low end, okay? You should be able to average more. And there is a direct correlation between how much money you make with your list and your relationship with that list, Okay, so today I'm really gonna be talking about the things we do to build a list. Tomorrow we're gonna be going into how do we communicate with the list? What are the things we say to them? What are the emails we send out? What do we say? What are the sequences? What are the orders? What are the campaigns? Like, what do we do to build the relationship with that list? Okay, because the better your relationship is with that list, the more likely, the more money you're gonna make with that. Okay, one other thing I wanted to mention on this before I move to the next slide is I think about all the time. I have a lot of friends and family members that are big into real estate investing. And you look at them, they'll go into a house, right? And they'll spend $300,000 to buy a house. They'll spend another $100,000 rehabbing it, fixing it up. So $400,000 in, and then from there they get a renter. They can probably put the renter in the house, and then hopefully the renter goes in there and they start cash flowing, $200, $300, $1,000 a month. And so they're investing $400,000. Even if it's the bank's money, they're still on the hook for $400,000 to hopefully make $1,000 a month, right? Which is like, if you took $400,000. If you're paying, let's say you're paying $3, I'll say $4 a lead because it's easier math in my head. So you put $400,000 in, you pay Facebook $4 a lead, you're at 100,000 leads after that money's gone. That's $1.2 million a year based on these numbers, right? That makes sense. So it's like I would much rather do an investment like that, where if you get 1,000 people on your list, it's $1,000 a month, the same cash flow as if you're buying a whole house without the risk and the stress and all the plumbing and toilets and things like that as well. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna keep moving. One thing I want to stress, because people ask me this a lot in our world, is like, well, I understand how this works for you internet nerds, but what about me, Russell? I'm a chiropractor, a dentist, a financial planner, I run a restaurant, or whatever. And so the question is always this, does this work for brick and mortar businesses as well? So the answer first off is yes. So I'm going to give you guys kind of a story to frame this. And then as you guys are going through everything over the next 3 days, if you're a brick and mortar business, use this as the frame to look at everything, because it will work. So this is a story about one of my friends. His name is Gary Ambrose. He told me the story a few years ago. But basically, Gary went in one day to go have a pizza. So he showed him a pizza place, and there's this dude here who owns a pizza place, and he's like, "Hey, my name's Gary," and he's talking to him here for a little bit, and then the guy's like, "Well, what do you do for a living?" He's like, "Oh, I'm an internet nerd," right? He's like, "Well, okay, I run a pizza place. How would this internet thing work for someone like me?" And Gary thought for a little bit. And he said, "Well, how do you get business right now?" And he's like, "Well, I run Facebook ads, Yellow Pages, phone. Like, here's all the ads he's using to get people into his pizza place, right?" And so that's all the things that are happening. And Gary said, "Okay, I want you to do a test. For the next 30 days, every single person who comes in here, I want you to give them something." Okay, this is called a lead magnet. Give them something in exchange for their email address. Okay, name, email address. He said, do that for 30 days. I'm going to come back in a month from now. I want to see what happens. Okay, so the guy did that for 30 days. He went and he gave every single person who came into his company. He said, got their name and their email address, and then put it onto a list. 30 days later, Gary came back and said, "Okay, how many people are on this list now?" And the guy said, "I don't know, like 300, right?" So 300 people have joined this list in the last 30 days, whatever the number was. He said, "Okay, now what I want you to do is every single day, at 4 o'clock, I want you to send an email to this list, okay? And I want you to send it to a different phone number so we can track to see what's happening. Like, all your other ads right now are going to the red phone right here. Set up this other phone number right here. And every day at 4 o'clock, I want you to email the list and just tell the list, say, look, it's 4 o'clock. It's almost dinner time. I'm sure you're hungry. I'm sure you're stressed. You had a hard day at work. If you don't want to make dinner tonight, like, let me know right now. I'll make this pizza and it'll be ready for you by the time you drive past. That way you have dinner. You can take it home really, really quick and easy." And he said, send this email every day at 4 o'clock. So the guy literally cut and pasted the email, didn't customize it, didn't do any the stuff you're going to be learning in the next couple of days, just literally sent the same email every single day at 4 o'clock, and did that for an entire month. A month later, Gary came back and said, "Okay, tell me the stats, tell me numbers, like what happened?" And this is amazing. The guy said, from all of my other advertising efforts that are costing me money, from ads, Facebook ads, YouTube, Yellow Page, all the different things I'm doing right now, he said, from all of those, from all that advertising efforts, for every one phone call I'm getting on the red phone, which is those advertising, I'm getting 4 phone calls on the green phone from my email list. 4 times as many calls. Doesn't cost him any money, right? He has a mailing list. Okay, this is what you guys understand, especially right now, is the time that we're recording this. We're in the middle of this whole coronavirus shutdown. People are freaking out. I keep going to my local business owners who are stuck. I'm like, look, you have a customer list. You have names and emails and phone numbers and things of people that have bought from you in the past. Like, yeah, I'm like, just start sending them emails telling this, like, every day at 4 o'clock, I've got your food. I've got things that's ready for you. Okay, your company does not have to shrivel up and die. You have a customer list. You have the most valuable thing in the world and you're not even using it. Like, this is the secret. This is the key. Okay, if I had a local business, I'd be focusing on this. In fact, I had a buddy, he was my trainer, 7 or 8 years ago now. I remember he's working out with me, and I feel bad for guys who have to work who train me, because I'm always talking internet stuff, and they're talking weightlifting, and eventually we get into conversations about the stuff. And one day he asked me, he's like, "Well, what would you do to fill my gym?" And he's like, "Would you run Facebook ads or YouTube? What would you do?" And I was like, "Well, those things would be good, But the guy had a smaller gym. I was like, I bet you we could fill his entire gym without messaging a single person, without running a single ad. He's like, how would you do that? And I said, do you have dead files? He's like, what's a dead file? I'm like, someone who came in and either they worked out for a while and they left, or maybe they came in for consultation but they never showed up. I was like, do you have a list of those people? He's like, oh yeah, I have a whole bunch of files like that. I'm like, okay, go this weekend. I want you to go back and I want you to go through and like put them all in an Excel sheet, like the name and email address, cell phone, if you have whatever you have, and like put them in a huge email list in Excel file. And next week I come back, tell me how many you got. So he did that over the weekend. I came back and I remember when I came back, he had like, I don't know, 200, 250 of these people. I said, okay, what I want you to do, I want you to send an email. We're going to call this the Are You Fat Again campaign. And I want you just literally to say, subject line, are you fat again, ? And then the body be like, hey, you should come and work out here, but for some reason you haven't. I'm just curious. Are you comfortable with where you're at? Or are you, have you gained some weight? Would you like to come back? If so, we got a special discount, blah, 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 whatever. Call this number and we'll get you in so we can get you back in shape. He softened the Are You Fat campaign to something a little bit nicer than what I would have said. But he sent that out to the list. He sent out the email twice to his list and completely filled up his gym to capacity from his dead files, okay? So think about this, guys. Like all businesses, they have a list. Most of them just don't even know it. They haven't thought about it. They've never even used it. In fact, as I've been teaching people the Dream 100 strategy inside Traffic Secrets, I'm like, go to all the local businesses around you who have dead files, who have these lists they don't even know about, and buy them from them, or ask them if you can put them in a list and email it for them. Or like, there's so much value, there's so much money sitting there that most businesses don't even know they have. Okay, so when you understand that. So yes, this stuff does work for local businesses. A lot of times better. Most local businesses will never average $1 per month. They might average 10, 15, 20 because they can have such a better relationship because they're close to their customer. Okay, so if I'm talking about building a 1 million person list, if you're a local business, you can get the same kind of things from 1,000 person list. Does that make sense? But it still comes down to that is the focus. Okay, so there's the frame for any of my local business owners. All right. With that said, we're going to start diving into this a little bit deeper now, okay? So how do we build the list? This is the next question, right? You go to spamfoремailaddresses.com and buy a DVD with 1 million emails. That's what I did. That's not the right way to do it, okay? But this was the question I started asking is, well, how do you build your list? Like, what's the process? How does it work? Like what are people doing? So when I got started, again, 17, 18 years ago, the process was different, right? This is how people built a list. Okay, you'd go to a website and then this annoying thing would happen. You guys remember this? A pop-up would pop up. Boom, right? And say, hey, congratulations, you're the 3 millionth visitor. You win a free blah, blah, blah. Give me your email address, right? Or like this one right here, Mac Keeper, before you continue, clean your Mac, right? Like these pop-ups, right? And when I got started, this is how everybody was building a list. They had pop-ups. They would drive tons of traffic and they get pop-ups. And then these things popped up called pop-up networks, where you could go and you could say, hey, I want my pop-up to show up on other people's websites, and you could pay for it. So I'd say, look, I'll pay 10 cents every time my pop-up shows up on somebody else's website. And so people like me were buying pop-ups. So all of a sudden, like I'm getting 100,000 pop-up impressions a day all over the place. People joining my list. I was like, this is amazing. Like this is so much fun. But then guess what happened? The pop-up guys got greedy and they started, instead of selling 1 or 2 or 3 pop-ups, they sell like 10. So you go to a site and all of a sudden you get 10 pop-ups pop up in your face, and it got super annoying. How many of you guys remember the annoyance of pop-ups? Okay. They got really, really bad. And so then Internet Explorer and all these browsers are coming up with pop-up blockers. Okay. And at first, all the pop-ups disappeared off the internet, and all the marketers like me were just like, oh, great. Now we can't get a list. It's over. But luckily for me and for you, there's some really smart guys who said, wait a minute. This worked a lot in the past. What if there's a way we tweak this around? What if instead of someone coming to a website and then a pop-up shows up, what if we shift the structure around and move it so the first thing they see is actually the pop-up? Does that make sense? First thing, so if we come back here to the whiteboard, so it starts out like this. This is what we're used to, right? We come to a website, boom, and you're reading this blog, whatever, all of a sudden this pop-up comes up, and you're like free thingy, put your name, email address in. They said, what if we take that and we shift it? Instead of having it this way, we're blocked. What if we take this and we move it down, and this becomes page number 1? Okay, so the first page somebody sees is the pop-up saying get a free thingy, put your name and email. And if they do that, then on the next page, we show them the actual website that we wanted to show them. And I remember like this is like when I was first getting started, these are the conversations. People are like, no, you're crazy, that'll never work. Because then, if you send 100 people here, only like 10% will ever see this page here, and there's all these things, and everyone was stressed out, and people were testing this versus that, and everyone's trying to figure out, like, it's like the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Like, when this got shut down, everyone's cheese got moved, and there's a whole bunch of smart marketers trying to figure out, how do we shift the system around? What's the process? What do we need to do? And I don't know who figured it out. I've heard 3 or 4 people claim that they were in the venture of it. I'm just grateful that somebody did, and this was the process. Now, what happened is you send traffic to the squeeze page. Let's say you send 100 people, and then only, let's say 20% of people opt in, okay? What happens is these people, you get them on your list, right? These are 20% of people become on your list. And then you can send an email here, an email here, an email here. You can keep sending them emails to get them to buy. Okay. What happened is because of the follow-up, I call these follow-up funnels, but because of the follow-up system that would happen is that it actually increased the number of sales because you could follow up the person over and over and over again. I remember reading an article that David Fry posted back in the day. It said something like the average online purchase, they have to see your site. I think it was like 7 or 9 times before most people are willing and comfortable enough to buy. So what happens is someone come here, they're not going to buy, but then they get email 2, 3, 4, 5. And by email 5, they're like, okay, fine, I'm ready to buy. It's because of the ability to follow up, they actually started making more money, even though less people saw it up front. Only 20% of the traffic saw it, but more people bought. Okay. Now fast forward a decade later, the other cool thing we got is the other, here's our 80-20, right? The 20% that opted in go in this follow-up sequence. The 80% here now we can put into a retargeting campaign, which pushes more people back to here and to here. That's outside of this whole lesson, but retargeting was awesome because it gave us the ability now to the people who didn't give us their email address to still follow them and move them through the funnel as well. Okay, and so this is the new way. So again, if you look at my slides here, it goes from website to pop-up now to instead it's the free stuff and the website's on the back. That was the basic first concept of a squeeze page. We call them a squeeze page because someone's coming through and you're squeezing their email address from them, a lead squeeze page. Okay. All right. And so this is, again, what kind of it looks like. 100 people come to squeeze page, 30 people opt in, and you have a follow-up funnel now to follow up with them and make sure they get your message. Okay. So this is what I'm first learning back now. I'm like, okay, this is the secret now. So pop-ups died. We shifted to this. And now we start figuring out how does this work? Okay. Now a basic lead squeeze funnel has 2 pages. Okay. And we're going to show you a lot of different types of ways we get leads. But this is one of the most basic ones. Well, basically there's a page where you have a headline, or you have a basically, if you give me your email address, I'll give you this thing. It's a trade, right? Give me your email address, I will give you this thing in exchange. So I'm gonna give you a free video, a free training, a free report, a free whatever, right? You give me this, I'll give you that. So it's the first time typically when you're driving traffic that you're bartering with someone. You give me this, I'll give you this. Okay, you give me your email address, I'll give you this thing that you want. Okay, this thing we call them a lead magnet, and I'll talk about it here in a minute. It's a lead magnet. Okay, a lead magnet will draw somebody into you, and then they give you the email address in exchange for the lead magnet for the thing that they want. Okay, the very first squeeze page I ever saw was from Eben Pagan. He had a company called Double Your Dating. His pen name at the time was David D'Angelo, and I remember everyone was talking about it. He's like, Eben Pagan figured out this whole squeeze page thing. He's killing it. At the time, I don't know any of the stats now, but this is 15 years ago. Double Your Dating was doing like $20 million a year online, and we went to doubleyourdating.com. This was the page. I remember going there. I was like, what? I don't get it. This page makes no logical sense. It was one of the very first squeeze pages that was out there. And I was like, how is this website making $20 million a year at the time? It didn't make any sense to me. I remember reading it. Said, you're about to learn the secrets that most men will never know about women. Inside, you're going to learn the kiss test, how to tell if she's ready to be kissed. And then it goes on and has the bullet points also. If you're going to learn, give me your name, your email address, and we'll trade you. So the lead magnet that he had here was, give me your email address, I will give you the kiss test. That was the trade-off. And I remember coming to this page, and I had just gotten married to my beautiful wife, Colette. I remember going here, and I was like, it's one of those things where you're like, what if she looks at my browser history and she sees me on doubleyourdating.com and she can think something's wrong with me? So I remember like stressing about this for like a day or two. I was like, I need to find out what's on the other side of this page, right? I'm a funnel hacker. I'm the original funnel hacker. I need to funnel hack this thing and see what's happening on the back side of it. So finally, I remember one day sitting down with Colette, I'm like, okay, there's this guy named Eben Pagan. He has a website called Double Your Dating. I love you. I'm never dating again, but I have to see what's on this page. Can you come with me? I'm going to do this with you so it's not awkward or weird. She's like, okay. So I went with her, showed her the page. I opted in to find out what the kiss test was. I went to the next page. And if you look at this, the next page, it had the kiss test. And what's crazy about it is that as I'm reading this, it says, it's basically like 2 or 3 paragraphs. And said, okay, this is how you tell if a woman is ready to be kissed. It basically says you walk her to the door, and you're talking there, and he says you reach up to like put her hair behind her ear. He says if she pulls back a little bit, that means do not kiss her. Run as fast as you can, right? But if you go like this and she turns her head into your hand, that's the sign. That's how you know if she wants to kiss. I remember reading that. I was like, huh. I asked Claire, I'm like, is that true? She's like, yeah, that's pretty much. She's like, I don't know if I ever consciously did that, but that's definitely what I would do. I was like, oh my gosh. That's the kiss test. Now, if I was a guy who wasn't married, trying to figure out dating, who's scared to death to walk a girl to the door and do a thing, like that little paragraph there is what? It's value, right? Like, oh my gosh, like I get it now, right? And so that lead mag, it was just, again, I want to stress, it was a paragraph. But that lead mag is what got people in the door. They heard about the kiss test. And then down below said, by the way, if you think this is good, you should buy my ebook called Double Your Dating for whatever, $37. And that's how he built this $20 million a year company off of that. Okay, and I remember seeing that and studying it and watching it and just being blown away, like, oh my gosh, it really is that simple. The lead magnet doesn't have to be like a 500-page book I wrote. It can be something as simple as like the KISS test, like something that provides value to somebody. We're also like, oh my gosh, like that makes sense, right? And that starts the journey, okay? So that was the original squeeze page that I ever saw. All right, so I'm walking you through. So step number one in this process. Step number one is you've got to create a lead magnet. Okay. In my next session after the break, I'm going to go deeper into lead magnets. I think he has like 200 ideas of different types of lead magnets. But really quickly, I want to touch upon it just so you understand. So in the case of my pizza friend here, his lead magnet was a free topping. Give me your name and email address. I will give you a free topping. That was his lead magnet to get people's contact information. Okay. This is one of Brendan Bouchard's lead magnets. It's one of my favorite ones because it's the one-page productivity planner used by CEOs and achievers worldwide. One page, a PDF with one page. Like, that was his lead magnet. Okay, but man, if you are a CEO or you are someone who wants to be more productive, you see, like, oh my gosh, that's a lead magnet. Like, I'll give you my email address in exchange for one page productivity guide, right? Boom, huge lead magnet for him. Okay, this is one of my best lead magnets. The Marketing Secrets Black Book. This one, I think I have a screenshot here of how many, but it's generated like 250,000 leads. If you come back, let's rewind for a second, back to earlier today. So if I make $1 per month per name on my email address list, and this one little simple squeeze page has got me 250,000 leads, what does that mean? Okay, this is one of the most valuable pieces of real estate that I have. It'd be less than 5 minutes to build inside ClickFunnels, okay? But what is there's a little ebook here. And so I had someone, Julie Stoyan, actually back in the day when she was working for us, I had to listen to all my podcasts. I said, listen to all the podcasts from beginning to time till now and pull out the 99 cool secrets you found. So she pulled out 99 cool secrets. She kind of rewrote them each in a little paragraph, put them in the ebook, and boom, that became this ebook that has gotten me over 250,000 leads, okay? And so they're simple, they're easy. They're something that gets somebody to come to you and they're saying, look, I will give you my email address in exchange for that thing. Right? It's a lead magnet. It's our first barter with them. And if they get value from the lead magnet, then you've got them for life. Okay? All right. So the question I'm gonna lead right now is like, what stuff do you have that can become a lead magnet? And again, next session we're gonna go deep into this. So don't stress if you don't know what it is now. You got to create a lead magnet. It could be a free report. It could be a white paper. It could be a free video. It could be coupons. It could be access to something awesome. It could be whatever it is, right? But something you have that you could trade in exchange for email address. So start thinking about that in your mind. You're like, what is the thing I have? What is the lead magnet I could create? Okay, step number 2 is after you have the lead magnet, now you got to create a squeeze page. Okay, a lead squeeze page is the page that gets somebody's email address. Okay, so if you go back to Brendan's, there is his funnel. Okay, free download, get the one-page productivity guide. They put their name and email address in. The next page is like, here you go. Here's the one-page productivity guide. He's got a video talking about it, and then he pushes them into his next funnel. Okay, this is how you make money long-term. Is you push them into the next funnel. Okay, most of you guys probably saw when you register for this web class. Okay, over 10,000 people you guys registered for this, by the way. So 10,000 leads came in. There was the thank you page where I said, hey, you should go get the lead, excuse me, the lead funnels swipe file for $7. And over 1,500 of you guys bought that as well. Okay, so you can push somebody to the next thing in your funnel really, really easily. But basically, it's give them your email address, then you give them the thing that they just asked for. Okay, for this event, you guys registered for the event, and now we're here, and now you're getting this, like this training is a lead magnet. Does that make sense? Okay, I want to make sure you guys are getting that. All right, here's one again. The squeeze page. Someone came here, they gave me the email address, and then they go, thank you page, right? Give them the thing that they just asked for. And yeah, 272,327 opt-ins leads have come through this page right here. Okay. Another example of lead funnel. This is one for local businesses. I saw this one probably 14, 15 years ago. There's a guy locally here in Boise who had me on his radio show back then, and it was really cool. He's a real estate agent, and he wanted to not just sell the $100,000, $200,000 homes. He's like, I want to sell the big homes because I get a percentage commission. So he had this idea. He basically put up a squeeze page that got people to come and join his Boise luxury home report. 2013, yes, it's been a little while. And so I remember I saw that. So I went and I joined the list. I put my name and email address in. And what he would do is every Friday send an email out and say, hey, here are all the coolest high-end homes in Boise. Like all the $1 million, $2 million, like all the highest homes in Boise. Send an email, you see them all. And it's like, oh my gosh. And so I saw first after, like every single week I get this email. I look forward to because like, what are the cool houses in Boise? What are the most expensive ones? I kept getting the email, kept getting the email every single week. And then one day he messaged me and asked me to be on his radio show. I came and talked to him. I was like, how does this work? He said, yeah, I sent an email out. In fact, here's what emails used to look like back in 2013. He's like, I send out an email with the most expensive homes in Boise, and does 2 things happen. Number 1, all the people with really expensive houses now in Boise, guess who they want to sell those houses? Like me. He's like, they all want me to sell the houses because I've got a list of people looking for really expensive houses. That's number one. He's like, number two, guess how many houses? He's like, I'm an agent. I sell so many houses, really high-end houses because everyone who wants a high-end house is on my list, and they keep getting these emails from me. They build a relationship with me, and then guess what? When they go to buy their high-end house, I'm the first person they call. He's got making more money on both sides of this deal, all the highest-end homes. Okay, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's brilliant. Okay, but it's a very simple way. Again, I'm trying to give you as many ideas so that you can fit it for your business. The thing that drives me most crazy is anytime I teach funnels or anything, everyone's like, oh, that's awesome, but it doesn't work for my business. I guarantee there's someone here right now who's got, who has like a sandwich shop, and they're like, oh, well, it works for pizza places, but not for me, because I shared a pizza example. So it drives me nuts. It just works for all businesses. You just got to be creative. So trying to show different examples from industries to get the wheels in your head spinning, because I cannot give an example for every single type of business out there. I promise you, the use cases are there for all of them. Okay, I don't care what it is you're selling or what it is you want to sell. This will work for you. You just got to figure it out. Okay, this guy's selling homes as a real estate agent. It works for him. He's got to think creatively. Yeah, think creatively. Okay, I can't go and make up every single variation for you. You got to be able to do that as well. But understand these concepts. Okay, so I'm gonna share a bunch of ideas so you guys can start thinking about it for yourself. What could I do? What could you do in your specific type business? Okay, all right. Best practices on lead funnels. They're very simple. Okay, they're very simple. There's curiosity involved, and it tells them what to do. Okay, notice this right here. This is from Brian Moran's. His pages are so simple and clean. I love them. It says limited time offer. Download it free now. Change your business forever. It's called the Going Pro Manifesto. Okay, so it's like it's simple. The page is simple. You see a picture of it. It gives you some curiosity. Like, what is the Going Pro Manifesto? I don't know. That sounds really, really cool. And then it tells them what to do. Notice this. Enter your email address below to discover the proven blah, 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 blah. Okay, it doesn't just have a form that tells them specifically what to do. Yes, you have to tell people what to do. Tell them to put your name and email address in the form down below. If you don't say it on the page, they're gonna be like, I don't know what to do. There's a form for email and submit button, but I don't know what to do unless there's like specifically you telling them what to do. I know it sounds crazy, but you have to tell them what to do. Okay. Page number two, again, so the first page, if I come back here, page number one, simple curiosity, tell them what to do. They give you the email address. Page number two, then you give them the lead magnet that's asked for, and then you send them into your next funnel. Okay. And we'll go deeper into that later, but that's just kind of the best practices. Okay. A couple of more lead funnel examples. This is, the Funnel Hacker Cookbook. It's got 22 funnels. Someone comes here, they can put the email address in, it clicks up, put the email address in, and on the next page, we give them the PDF with all 22 of the funnels in there. Okay, this is one for our YouTube channel, right? I wanted to get more leads to follow us on YouTube. Very simple thing. I found a YouTube video, put up on a landing page here. They put their email address in. We send the video. Now we have a sub list of people that we can get to go watch our YouTube videos. This is one of Ryan Dice's digital marketer. They have a swipe file. I'm going to go deeper into these in the next session, so I'm going to skip through these. Lady Boss, a bunch of other cool ones here. Okay, so those are some basic lead squeeze funnels. I'm gonna show you guys again a bunch more in the next presentation to go deeper. But I want you to understand that this isn't the only way we get leads. Sometimes people are like, hey, okay, I'm gonna have this kind of funnel to generate leads, and then I'm gonna have a webinar funnel to sell my products, or I'm gonna have a book funnel over here. You have to understand that all funnels are created to generate leads. Okay, so lead squeeze funnel is one type of funnel to generate leads, but there's lots of other ones. Okay, and I could spend days going to all of them. I'm gonna show you guys a bunch of them. But like for example, how many of you guys have ever seen a summit funnel? Okay, if you go to affiliatebootcamp.com, is one of my summit funnels. 30days.com is a summit funnel. Okay, a summit funnel, literally all it really is a funnel created to generate leads. The lead magnet is the entire summit. Okay, all the interviews, all the people that we did in the summit. Okay, I can't remember how we had 20 or 30 different interviews. Those interviews were it's just a lead magnet. Someone comes here, they opt in for the summit, now they're lead. That was the only reason why we did it. Okay, same thing again, 30days.com. Okay, we interview all these people, what their 30-day plan is. It's a summit funnel. Yes, it has a bunch of cool things it does, but the reality of the only real purpose of the summit funnel is to generate leads. The lead magnet is the summit. Okay, the Traffic Seekers book funnel. Okay, I want to show you guys this. Like the reason why I create books. Yeah, I want to sell books, but more importantly, I'm trying to generate leads. Okay, so you look at this. This is the Traffic Seekers book funnel. Most of you guys have a chance to go through it. Hopefully, page number one, we sell the book. We upsell the audio book. Okay, we have the box set. We have funnel link software, and there's the funnel we take someone through when they buy the Traffic Seekers book, right? Now, I want you to understand, like, the reason why we stress out and we structure these funnels is I want to make these things profitable so I can build a list for free, okay? Again, I think a lot of times people look at this and they're like, oh, this is how Russell sells books. It's like, no, selling books is a byproduct of me building a list through a funnel. The goal of my book funnels is to build a list, okay? The book in the middle is there to liquidate the cost so that I can be able to build the list for free. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me show you the practical application. So this is the book funnel. If you want to see the stats after the first week, okay, these are the ads. I had John pull the ads. So this is how much it was costing us to sell each book. Okay, so the first ad set was $12.48. Second one was $22. Third one was $15. Third one's $20. So you see all this. So on average, it was costing us $14.69 to sell a book through the Traffic Seekers book funnel. Okay, so we do that. We drive in the book funnel. Now you just saw the upsell. There's upsells and downsells. A bunch of things happen in the funnels. Okay, so on average, we were spending $14.69 to sell a book. And then our average cart values, how much money we made on average people in the cart was $71.25. Okay, so if you look at that, it means I'm spending $14 to sell a book. I make $71.25 immediately in the funnel, and I get a customer. Okay, that's how we sold, I don't know the numbers, 50, 60,000 in the first like 2 weeks of this book, was because it didn't cost us any money. It was free, right? We're spending 14 and making 71. Now I can grow this very, very, very fast that way, right? Now, just so you guys understand how this game works, like these numbers won't stay this way forever. Eventually, it'll get more expensive to sell a book. And so what happens is that $14 will return to 15, and then 16, then 18, then 20. Okay. Also, as your traffic gets colder and colder, that number will drop from $71 to 65 to 60. Okay. And so what we do is we're watching as this gets higher. Where now I'm spending $20 in Facebook ads, $23, $25. And this gets from 70 to 60 to 50 to 40 to 30. Now we're at 30. And so the cost of the ad's gone up. The cost of the average cart value has gone down over time to the point we get to where it break even. And guess what? When we're break even, guess what we do? I keep running the ads. Why? Because I'm getting customers for free. I'm not making money, but I'm getting a customer. Like they bought the book, and I'm getting a customer for free, right? Now, as soon as it gets the opposite way, we're spending more than we are making the book, then we stop running the ads for a while. Not for forever, for a while. That's why I've got multiple different funnels, because then what happens is the cost shifts. Okay, that funnel is no longer profitable. Let's shift our ad spend to another funnel. Okay, so the way we do it in our company, just so you guys see behind the scenes, is we have like for example, like the .com Seekers book, right? And we'll do that. We'll run the majority of our traffic to .com Seekers book where it's profitable, and eventually gets to the point where they're about break even or a little bit under. Then we shift now to the Expert Seekers book. We have a brand new funnel. All of a sudden, boom, the spread happens. We drive traffic, gets closer and closer and closer. This might run for a month, 2 months, 3 months, about break even. Then it gets back to about break even or so. Then we shift the next funnel, and all of a sudden that one starts working. We go through that. Eventually, it gets down again, and then guess what happens? Then we start back at this funnel. And lo and behold, 3 months later, 5 months later, this one now works again. Okay, because it hasn't been advertised as heavily, and all of a sudden it works again, and we start running it until it gets back to break even. Then we shift to the next one. And next one we start over, and that's what we keep doing over and over and over again. Okay? Now by doing that, we're consistently selling thousands of books a week. We're adding thousands and thousands and thousands of people a week to our email lists. Okay? So this book funnel, while I'm trying to sell books, the only real purpose of it is to generate leads. The only real purpose of, let me go back, of my summit funnels, if I go back to here, too many clicks, sorry. Okay, of the summit funnel is to generate leads. Okay, if I come back to, I think my next time to show here. Oh yeah, I'll talk about webinar funnels here in a minute, but like my webinar funnel is the same thing. Okay, so again, this is the math on this. I have a slide here. So $14 to get someone to buy a book. We make $71 in the funnel, means we made $56 net cash, and then we got a customer. Best thing in the world we can possibly have. The only real valuable asset in the company is the customer, and then from there we introduce them to the next funnel, so the thing we actually want to sell them. Okay, like that's our game, and it costs us $0 now to introduce the next funnel. Okay, here's our webinar funnel. You asked me to do webinars. What's the goal of the webinar funnel? You guys know? Yeah, I want to sell a thing at the end of the webinar, but my only real goal is to generate a list. Right? We did the Secrets Masterclass webinar 3 weeks ago. We had 18,000 people join the list to be on that webinar. 18,000 new leads came into our world because of that one webinar. We do that webinar every single week now, okay? Consistently. My team's buying ads, getting more people to register for the webinar over and over again because it's building lists and building leads, okay? So I want you to understand, like, all these funnels, all the stuff we're talking about, all the front-end funnels we're talking about, the only real goal of all these is to generate a list. Like, that's why we do it, okay? Okay? Hopefully that helps you guys understand why the list is so important, okay? Or hopefully I've explained why the list is so important and like all the things that we're doing, like why we're doing that, okay? It's all about getting a list and generating a list inside of our business, okay? All right, now that we've got a list, we got a lead magnet, we got a squeeze page, we're using these things to generate a list. Now the third step in this process is we got to build a relationship with our lists, okay? And this is where I'm going to be spending most of the time tomorrow talking about how do we do that? What do the emails look like? How do we structure them? Things like that. But step 3 is building a relationship, okay? Now, if you look at this, you've got a lead magnet, right? It sucks people in. They put the email address in, and now you're taking them through what we call a follow-up funnel. You guys know all about sales funnels. We've for the last 5.5 years, I've been beating the drum about sales funnel, sales funnel, sales funnel. I think most of our community is pretty good at understanding, okay, page 1, page 2, and you understand a sales funnel. Okay, but after they come into your world, then you take them through what we call a follow-up funnel. These are the emails that you're taking them through. So if you look at my graph here, right? Email number 1, email number 2. So if you're using inside of ClickFunnels, there's a tool called follow-up funnels. It literally is structured almost identically to how we do sales funnels. So I want the thing to look similar to you guys, right? In the sales funnel, someone goes from page 1 to page 2 to page 3. In the follow-up funnel, same thing. They go from message 1 to 2 to 3, and they move through the sequence like that. Okay, so the same way we orchestrate out what are the email or what are the pages somebody goes through when they click on my ad and go through my funnel. The same thing we orchestrate what are the messages they get from me after they come into my funnel. Okay, and that's what we call a follow-up funnel. Again, tomorrow is follow-up funnel day. We're gonna go deep into a whole bunch of really cool things there. But to kind of give you guys a quick high-level overview, there's 2 types of messages we send out to our list. Okay, the first is called the soap opera sequence. I learned from Andre Chaperone. And the second is called the Seinfeld email I learned from Ben Settle. So I kind of use both these things hand in hand. And then we got a whole bunch of variations we're going to go deep into tomorrow that I'm so excited to share with you guys. But the soap opera sequence is the first set of emails someone gets right after they get your lead magnet, right? They just got your lead magnet. They don't know who you are yet. They don't have a relationship with you. This is where we have to spend some time and some energy getting to know them and building a relationship. It's the soap opera sequence. We call it soap opera sequence because of these things right here. How many of you guys or gals who are watching watch soap operas? I've never actually seen one before, but my wife and I, before we got married, she used to watch, I can't remember one of these ones. And I was asking about it. She's like, yeah, it sucks you when you watch one episode. And then if you start once, you got to watch the next day and the next day. Because like the storylines weave from episode to episode to episode to episode. Okay, again, I don't understand soap operas very well, but I do understand reality TV. Okay, there's a couple of shows. There's only one. This is embarrassing. If you watch The Bachelor, I've heard, rumor has it that they do the same thing, right? You start watching, you're like, this is a horrible season, but then they get these characters and they catch you and suck you into the story. And it's like every commercial, I'm going to turn this off. This is filth. Why would I watch this? And all of a sudden, like right before the commercial break, something crazy happens. You're like, okay, I just watched the commercial, but I got to see the thing right after the commercial. So you watch the after commercial and then you're sucked back in and it pulls you to the next commercial break. And then the end of the hour, you're like, I literally wasted an hour of my life. That hour is gone forever. I'm screwed. I'm never watching this ever again, especially not tomorrow. And all of a sudden they hook you again. And you're like, oh my gosh, I got to see that. Crap. Okay, I'm moving everything because I have to be here tomorrow night to watch the next thing because like it's the cliffhanger. I have to see the next thing and the next thing. It keeps pulling you from thing to thing to thing. Okay, so we call these soap opera sequences or reality TV sequences, whatever you want to call them, because that's the goal. Someone joins your lead magnet, they come in, and now you got this window of time to build a relationship with them. Okay, if nobody opens your emails or clicks on your emails, you're not going to make $1 per month per name. You're going to make $0 per month per name. Okay, this is the goal. When they first come into your world, you have to connect with them. You have to build a relationship immediately. Okay, so tomorrow morning session is going to be all about this. I got a special guest speaker coming in. She's going to be talking about this and showing the story process and story arcs. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. If you read the .com Secrets book, this is the story arc I show people. When they first come in, of the first 5 days, like this is an example of a soap opera sequence. They come in, the first email sets the stage, introduces yourself, gets to know, let them understand like what to expect from you. Like, hey, my name's Russell. Like I'm an internet marketer. I love this stuff. I made my money selling potato guns. Now I'm teaching other people how to do this. Every day I'm gonna send you an email talking about some really cool things. In fact, tomorrow I'm gonna send you an email about blah, 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 blah. And I hook them, right? Because usually the first email after somebody gives you, after someone requests your lead magnet, they're gonna read because usually the lead magnet's in there. So that's your job, is to give them the lead magnet and then connect with them as quick as you can. Okay, so day number 1, I set the stage and I connect with them. Then email number 2 that I hooked them for in day 1, I tell them a story. I start at a point of high drama to connect with them in the story. And they read the story and it connects. And I go through this whole process. And then I kind of live a cliffhanger, just like I would on a reality show or a soap opera, and say, tomorrow's email, I'm going to tell you the next thing. Also, next day 3, I tell them the next story. And I hook them the next day. What's happened, if I've done that over 4 or 5 days, now a couple things have happened. Number 1, they know who I am. So the email shows up in their inbox like, oh, it's Russell. You don't want like, oh, it's Russell. You want, oh, it's Russell. This guy's awesome. Then number 2, they're like, oh, I'm gonna read his email because like he always has a cool story and there's got something exciting for me, something I can learn from. So they read the email, right? Then from there they build a relationship and it starts building this connection with somebody. Okay, so we take them through that process so that when in the future when we send emails, they're likely to actually open them, right? They're gonna know who you are. They're gonna be excited to hear from you. Okay, so that's the first sequence, is a soap opera sequence. After they finish the soap opera sequence, then we move them into what we call our daily Seinfeld emails. And we call them that because of this show right here. Okay, how many of you guys remember the Seinfeld show, right? A show about nothing. And that's kind of what these emails are. And I learned this initially from Ben Settle, and he talked about like if you're on Ben Settle's list, he sends out an email every single day and has consistently for almost a decade now that I've known him. And every single day it's this random story about who knows what that somehow he always ties back into his product or service. Okay, like for example, a story I could tell today. So right now, those who live know this, but if you're watching a recording, I'm recording this during the middle of the coronavirus shutdown. And so I could send an email to my list today really easily that said, the subject line could be like, I sat crying while eating waffles. And you're like, what is Russell talking about? Why is he crying eating waffles? And I could go in there and tell a story like, hey, my favorite restaurant in the world is this restaurant called Waffle Me Up. And they're in Boise, but they're clear on the other side of town. So we either go there like once every like 6 months we go there. But when they make the waffles, they have these waffles and they're like pillows of goodness with like sugar crystals that they import from Europe built into these waffles. When you bite into them, it's like soft and fluffy, and then these like crunchy sugar crystals from Europe inside of it. And on top of that, they have this thing called a Avocado Deluxe. You got the waffle, and then they put cheese on it, and they blowtorch the cheese. On top of that, they put an avocado, bacon, egg, and some other magic sauce. I don't even know what it is, but it's amazing. And it's called the Avocado Deluxe. So once every 4 or 5 months, when we're downtown Boise, I get one, and it's amazing. But guess what? They just opened a Waffle Me Up right next to my house. As I've been watching for the last 4 or 5 or 6 months, they've been building this thing brick by brick by brick, waiting, lusting, desiring a waffle so badly, just waiting for this thing to open. And guess what? The day they opened was the exact same day that President Trump told the entire world to stay at home. And I remember freaking out because I wanted a waffle. I've been waiting for months for this magic waffle. And so I snuck out of my home, unquarantined, snuck over there to go see Hector, who runs Waffle Me Up. I snuck in there and I was like, give me some waffles. And he's like, you can't come in, but I can make you waffles and give them to you. And he gave us these waffles. I'm sitting there eating them as a tear started going down my eye because I was like, man, Hector's been killing himself getting this thing built, has spent how much money building this whole thing, getting it all ready, and now he can't get customers to come to him. Okay, and you look at this like customers or traffic. Like you look at a business like Waffle Me Up. It literally, it's they have a storefront and they wait for traffic, cars to literally drive past the restaurant. And when they have enough traffic coming past and someone smells the waffles, or they see the sign, they're like, oh, I'm going to stop. And traffic stops and they come in and they eat a waffle. But what happens to a business when traffic stops? When Trump tells everyone to go back home and all of a sudden they can't leave their house, there's no traffic. And what happens to the business? The business dies. And that's why I want to share with you guys my brand new book called Traffic Secrets, because it shows you how to get traffic to your website, to your business, to your local brick and like whatever it is you've got. These traffic secrets will get traffic to you. And that way you have the ability, blah, 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 blah. Okay? You see, I took waffles and crying and weaved it into a story that now sells the product or service of the day. Okay, the thing I'm talking about. So that's what an email, a daily Seinfeld email is. It's taking an experience from your life, telling that story, and then how does it tie back in to whatever product or service it is you're selling. Okay? And so there's a lot of ways to write daily Seinfeld emails. How many of you guys want a waffle right now? Man, I am sold on waffle. We're going to waffle. Anyway. So a lot of ways to do it. In the .com Secrets book, I go deep in this. There's episode styles, there's epiphany styles, there's educational styles, a lot of different ways, but the general concept is that. Okay, so after someone goes through my initial soap opera sequence, okay, so they come to the lead magnet, they join my email list. I have a soap opera sequence, usually over anywhere from 3 to 5 to 10 days, telling them a story, building a relationship, trying to get them to buy my primary offer. Then from there, I bump them over to my Seinfeld list, which is a daily broadcast. Every day I wake up, send an email list. Every day I wake up, tell a story, send an email list. And those are the Seinfeld emails that push them to other offers in my funnels, to other front ends, other things I'm talking about, to whatever it is I want to be able to do. Okay. And so that's basically the process. Someone comes in, taking through a soap opera sequence. After they finish that and they have a connection with them, then move to my Seinfeld list. And I'm telling them stories every single day, and they're looking forward to the emails that are coming from me. Okay. And that's kind of the process here in a nutshell. Okay. Now you come back to like, how do you grow your list? So the last thing I'm going to share, and then we're going to take a break. So how do you grow a list? Okay. There's a lot of ways. There's free ways to get traffic. There's paid ways. We're going to go over a bunch of those things on day 3. But just kind of put this in your head right now. I want you to understand that if you do this right, it doesn't cost you a ton of money. Okay. So for example, let's say right now I go to Facebook and let's say I'm spending money on ads. Let's just say, for example, for this example, let's say I spend $1 per lead. Okay, maybe it's $3 maybe it's $5 lead. It doesn't really matter. If someone comes in, let's say I spend $1 per lead on Facebook. They come in, give me the email address. Now they're on my list, right? So email number 1, I'm building connection. I send the first email, and if you look at the graph here, right here is. If I go right here, spend $1 on Facebook ads, I get email, boom, I got a customer. Like, yes, I got a customer. The most important thing in a business, I've got a customer. They come in, they get the first email, and I build a relationship. I made $0. I'm like, crap, I didn't make anything. Then email number 2, I send out. Right, so I'm still $1 in the hole. Email number 2, I send out, and then maybe I push a soft offer. I softly push them to one of my other offers, right? And a couple people buy, I make a little bit of money. I make 30 cents per lead back. Then email number 2, I come back, make a little bit more, 70 cents. And by email number 4, I break even. This is my break even day, right? So it means I spent $1, and by 4 days, on average, I made $1 from these leads. That means everything from day 4 on is pure profit. Okay. Everything from here on is pure profit. Now, this is different for every single person's business. Some people break even on day 1. Some people break even on day 10. Some people break even 6 months in a year. And I consulted a company that does like $60 or $70 million a year. And they have a funnel like this, and they spend money, and it takes them 6 months to break even. So for 6 months, they have a whole email sequence that goes through, and 6 months later, they break even. Now, that's stressful for someone like me to like wait 6 months. But that if you have the ability, if you have the finances, you can do that. Okay, I recommend for most of us try to break even closer to, within the first 3 or 4 days. Sometimes you can break even just on initial funnel, depending on what kind of funnel you're using. But that's kind of the game plan. You try to break even as quick as you can. As soon as you break even, now you know it's pure profit. And if you know that, look, for every $1 or $3 I spend to get a lead, I know that by day 5, I get those $3 back. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can build a list as fast as I want now, right? It comes back to, if I spend $3, day 5, I make $3, day 6, everything's pure profit moving forward. If I knew that, I got to float for 5 days. If I know, okay, I want to make 6 figures a year, it means I need 10,000 people on my list. Okay, that means I'm going to spend $500 a week on leads. So $500 by on Monday. By Friday, I get my $500 back. Boom, and I've added 250 people on my list or whatever. I'm slow on math right now. 250 people on my list. I got $500 back. I spend $500 on leads again. They come in. They go through this process. By Friday, I got my $500 back, and I keep doing this. Okay, and I'm getting 250, 300 leads a week. Eventually, within a month, 2 months, 3 months, I've got 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 people that have joined my list. Okay, and all I'm doing is I'm spending that same $500 I put in initially. Put $500 in, they go through the process, get $500 back, put it back in. I just keep doing that, and it keeps bringing more leads back into the funnel for me, into the follow-up funnel. Does that make sense? So that's kind of the game plan. Again, this first presentation was kind of just, I wanted to do kind of a higher level view so you can kind of understand all these different pieces. So what's going to be happening now over the next couple days is we're going to start breaking these things down into much more detail, okay? So we're going to take a break here in a minute. We're going to be coming back at 2 Eastern time. And my next session, I'm going to be talking about lead magnets. How do we build a lead magnet? What do they look like? I'm going to show you guys dozens of examples to get the wheels in your head spinning of like what you could do, like what are different ideas and things like that, okay? And so then at the end of that, you have a homework assignment to start building out your lead magnet, getting your first lead magnet done. And some of these lead magnets ideas I'm going to give you are super simple. They're so easy. Some of them you can do in like it's like a 10-minute project max, maybe less. Okay, some of them might take a week, some of them take a longer, but there's a lot of different ideas. I'm going to just brainstorm tons of ideas with you so the wheels in your head will start spinning, okay? Then tomorrow we come back, we're going to focus on when someone first joins your list, what are the emails you send out initially? Okay, I've got a special guest speaker coming. Like, what are the first 5 to 10 emails? Like, what are you saying to build connection, to help them tell your story, to connect with you? Okay, and so that's what's going to be happening tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow afternoon, me and a couple guest speakers are going to be talking about different follow-up funnel campaigns you can send to people. So, like, let's say you have a new product you want to launch. What's the campaign you send out? Let's say you need to make some money really quick. Let's say you have a new book you're launching. Like, what are the campaigns? Like, what do they look like? What are the email structure like? What do I send on day 1, 2, 3? And so I'm going to share with you guys. I think I'm sharing 5 or 6 different really cool campaigns. I got some guest speakers sharing. I'm not going to tell you who they are, but they are people you're going to be pumped to hear from. Anyway, so that's going to be happening tomorrow afternoon. And then on Friday, the 2 sessions happening on Friday are going to be fun as well. I'm going to talk about lead hooks, which are things you create before the lead magnet. I never hear people talk about this yet. It's probably the most important part to keep your lead costs down really, really low. So that's going to be happening, and I'm going to show you guys tons of examples of ours. So you want to see like show and tell of what we have that's working. I'm going to show you guys tons of cool stuff. And then after that, we're going to go into more traffic stuff in the afternoon. So that's kind of the game plan. But with that said, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out during module number 1 of List Building Secrets. Again, we'll take a break, and I will meet you guys back here at the top of the hour to go through lead magnets. Thanks so much, you guys. We'll talk to you all soon.
Redline Steel was a company that kind of just fell in my lap. Initially, I wanted to purchase something for my son. It was a really cool steel sign, and it had a place where you could engrave your name. There's this guy swinging a bat like this, looked super realistic, and all I wanted to do was be a consumer. I'll give you the short story. The guy ended up being very backlogged, said that he couldn't make this for me within a certain amount of time. He would reach back out whenever he was caught up. So I said, no worries. 10 minutes later, he reached out and said, holy crap, it's Colin Wayne. Can't believe it's you. I'd love to be at your level one day. I used to be a fitness model, landed over 50 magazine covers like Men's Health, Men's Fitness, Muscle and Fitness, Ironman, and so many magazine publications around the world. And I was making good money. Don't get me wrong, 30, 40 grand a month doing nothing but doing modeling without a PR firm, without an agency. That's cool. But at what point is like, what's next? As soon as he said that, instinctively, something triggered. Like without hesitation, I said, well, maybe I can get you to that level. I do consulting with businesses. And, I see a lot of opportunity. Over the course of about 90 days, it ended up evolving where I wanted to partner. He agreed. And the day he was supposed to sign, he didn't show up. I told him, if you're not here within the next hour, I'm going to open my own company and I'll be your competitor. And so he said, well, I wish you the best of luck. And the very next day, I went and purchased my first plasma table.
Got a big air compressor, our CNC plasma.
I like this business. I want something that's mine, something that I can build from scratch. See what 1,000 labels look like? A lot of customers, a lot of orders. 10,185, and it is 844. Almost 1,200 orders so far today. It's just 4:30. We are around about 58,000 pieces or products. We are, to be transparent, pretty damn backlogged. This is from ClickFunnels. Anytime you do over $1 million in revenue, they'll send you one of these plaques. How cool is that, huh? We list 4 to 6 weeks manufacturing lead times on the website, in some cases up to 8. Today, I'd love to hit $100,000 in sales. Yeah. We signed a 10-year lease for a new building. It's 108,960 square feet. A year from now, things are going to look completely different. The challenges are going to be completely different.
Anger from people who never received the gifts they ordered. Business failed to keep its promises. Some customers have been waiting since Thanksgiving.
More problems tonight for Redline Steel.
Redline Steel.
Redline Steel, 3,000 orders that still need to be shipped.
More than $100,000.
They have new management and are actually fully staffed.
Last 5% of the overdue orders. We have reached out to Redline Steel several times. Management declined to appear on camera.
Naja, it's been about a month since we first told everyone about the backup here at Redline Steel, but the owner tells me he and his team are working their hardest and working relentlessly to make it up to their customers.
I'd like to first off apologize for anybody that did not receive their order. I'm upset with myself because we didn't get this out. I made a promise to these customers. I wasn't able to deliver.
Because of the mistake, Wayne says he expected to get complaints from customers across the country who ordered items online, but Wayne says some people took it too far.
Other bystanders and other competitors that are actually attacking myself and my family and threatening my employees. They posted something with my home address, and I've got a 2-year-old daughter that's there.
To answer the question many people are asking, Wayne says the backup was due to a vital machine going down.
A lot of it was out of our control.
Wayne says that machine feeds most of the equipment in the company's facility. He says he hired more people and worked longer hours to try and combat the issue, but it didn't work. Now the company is offering those customers a refund and trying to get items out the door as soon as possible.
We are going to do everything we can to make it right for everybody that got left out for this Christmas delivery.
This year, there were some massive takeaways from that. So essentially, one of the biggest things was now we're leveraging stock items and bundle packs.
So we have multiple shells, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, all the way down to hotel. I've got at least $4 million in raw material ready to be shipped. So this is one of my main prospecting funnels. So we ship thousands of these on a weekly basis, and those are all prospected through landing pages. And so from this, We upsell them on a hope and a love, which we have inventory of as well. And then we'll ship the exact same piece to thousands of customers across the country using a funnel.
That's what we've done this year that's uniquely different than last year. Last year, it was more, how many orders can we get in the door, without a clean and precise strategy of what is the KPIs that we can take away from this year. And we're actually using funnels for the first time for retargeting. Whereas we only used it for prospecting, now we're using it, and we built several landing pages built through ClickFunnels so that we can leverage our own internal audience to purchase higher average order value cost. More orders, which is equating to more product manufacturing and flows through the entire shop. I would rather put an emphasis on what can I do as a value perspective to the consumer so that they spend more money. So value tiers.
If we're not innovating and adapting to those changes, we're not making it better. We're going to make it worse in the long term. The world's constantly revolving. It's moving. Same with marketing. What's working today will not work tomorrow. This is what's scary, right? If you're using a traditional website right now, it's going to be so expensive for you to market and attribute new customers for growth in the future that if you're not finding good tools to sharpen, and get higher conversion rates, you're going to be left behind, because these large corporations are shifting their marketing budgets into paid traffic across social media. So right now is the best time to get started.
It's going to get very hectic, so we're going to have to push out certain Instagram, Facebook.
All right, guys, y'all ready to see the past weeks? We have 14 different items that are available now for 24 hours. So all the way until Saturday, it's 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. This was our most common voted pick out of all of the previous 11 weeks. This is a teal finish, guys. We also have a blue, which is kind of a navy blue. So if you like the dream catcher, let us know. When we first started off, I had no clue what I was doing. We didn't start out with this. What you see right behind me, this isn't how we started. When I first started, we actually had a kitchen oven, and we hot rolled steel together and made our own powder coat oven. When I look back at like 3 years ago to where we're at right now, it's insane, the difference.
Essentially 6 months or so, we grossed over $1 million in revenue. Year 2, we did close to 10 million. And then to date, we've done almost $40 million. Without funnels, we couldn't do that. So for us, we use ClickFunnels in a sense that we acquire customers at a low cost item on a perception of a high retail product. We could sell a 12-inch cursive love for $6 and free shipping, where most companies are like, I can't even get the raw material for this. Well, it's because we trust the process. It's a long-term thing. And it's about how can I convert this into purchase 3, 4, 5, 6 different times to stretch that lifetime value. Funnels is the way to do that. So from a business standpoint, it's allowed our company to grow very, very rapidly. It's allowed us to have, almost 1 million customers by the end of year 3. And it's evolving, and the evolution of Redline is going to continue to scale and grow well beyond what we initially envisioned.
This is my second time coming here. 3rd grade, I came here for a field trip, and my mom brought me along with my entire 3rd grade class, but I haven't been here since. And to be personally invited by the governor for my business, and I can't even put it into words. Like, I'm still in my 20s, and we're getting asked by the president of the United States, the local governors. What's great about that is keeping that momentum and keeping it moving in a positive direction. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So May 3rd, 2012, to date that I'll always remember, I was working out in the gym in the Paktika province in Afghanistan, and a 107 millimeter rocket impacted about 3.5 feet from me. From the grace of God, I'm still alive. And I'm the type of guy that looks 10 years ahead and wants to support not only myself, but certain veterans. So the big vision is that Redline, essentially what I could see is almost a rehabilitation center for veterans and an outreach program to get them back into the workforce. Building a compound, let's say 300, 400 acres, having essentially everything that you would need within a compound of our own installation. So having barracks where people can live, having some type of recreation center where people can gather and have some type of culture that's continuing to evolve and grow and build. It's not just the money play. I love concept to reality and also the humanitarian side where there's a lot of homeless veterans that need the chance. They need something to look forward to. And all they need is a small stepping stone. And so I want to be a voice for those people. Unlike a lot of people, we work 80, 90, 100 hours a week. It's literally a whatever it takes mentality. When things are doing great, I tend to throw a wrench in it and we end up making crazy decisions. I thrive under pressure, the same way that our steel's made. It takes literally the air that we're breathing and it has chambers of high pressure tanks, low pressure tanks, and that's what makes our steel. It's the same thing as an entrepreneur that's going through these journeys. We all go through it. Everybody does. Trust me, you're not alone. And that is how growth happens. And that being uncomfortable should, in theory, push you to be so much stronger. And then that's how you truly learn. You learn from those setbacks. You learn from those mistakes and you say, that's not going to happen again. That setback is a set up for your future. That's how you can scale and build the foundation that's needed to grow a massive empire.
Good morning.
Morning.
Ready for this day? Are you ready? I don't know. Let me get that back to you.
What's on the agenda?
Today we're flying up to meet with
Cutting.
I'm ready. It's gonna be good. We're gonna go visit
Dave did the same
We're gonna go to the guy's place.
Joel
Avery. Marion. We're gonna jump in. Oh my god. There's so many names in this world.
should have gone to visit Myron. He's in Tampa.
Dang it. Another name.
No, too many names. No more people.
The man, Russell.
Pay to sell your product.
Love this guy.
I honestly believe the entrepreneurs are the only people that can actually change this planet.
Morning.
Billy Mays. Just as he died, OxyClean cut all his commercials. If you'd asked him a month before, hey, if you died, wants to burn your ads, hey, please, don't stop, keep running, man. It's my legacy, it's my vision, And they instantly stopped running his ads. Now, it's like, no one knows who he is.
I might tell everybody rather than Mike.
I told you this all the time. I'm like, when I die, keep running this crap.
No, you know what I told him? I said, keep running because it'll absolutely convert stronger.
Absolutely.
It'll be in the news that this guy died.
We should.
Oh, yes! I swear to God, this is why we have a problem. We thought of it at the same time. Hey, man, if you're watching this, I'm dead. That doesn't mean my product is.
I'm totally cool with it.
My product's still the best on the planet.
This guy said, Brennan had a newspaper. They said, what's the worst that could happen? They said, Joanne's husband lived in the flat with his body and wardrobe for 48 hours. There's the ad, or the article that right below the ad. Wardrobe specials. Literally the same keyword on both things.
This is why you need traffic secrets.
So Joel Marion, back in the day, he won Bill Phillips' Body for Life. So when I first met him, he was just beginning. He went through one of my courses, which is cool. He told me things. And then I said 5 or 6 years later, he's like the kingpin in the industry. He's like the boss. He'd put together huge events. Him and Josh Bozzoni, they launched BioTrust together. That blew up and did $100 million like the first 8 months or something crazy like that. He's insanely aggressive on everything he does. He doesn't dabble. He's just like, anyway, we're going to his house right now because he's been asking me for like a year to be on his podcast. And I'm always like, whenever in Florida. So now I'm like, well, we're in Florida. Let's do it.
How you doing, Dan?
How are you? I'll give it a hotel or something. This is amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Joel, did you draw that?
Wow.
Yeah, that was me. It took a while, but yeah, no, it's 2 years worth of paint on the ceilings. Every ceilings hand painted.
Wow. We're moving to Florida. New ClickFunnels office.
All right, so we have an idea. We have something we're passionate about. What does an irresistible offer look like? Or just explain that concept so people know. It has to be overwhelming amount of value for the right price, right? So go ahead.
I always try to make it like if I'm creating an offer, I try to make sure that it's worth 10 times I'm charging for it. So that's the lens. Like if it's not worth $1,000, I'm not going to sell for 100. If it's not worth 100, I'm not going to sell for 10. So that's the first thing. And there's a lot of ways to explain it. We actually do an event each year with families. So I let parents come, they can bring their teenage kids. And so it was the very first time we ever did it last summer. And I'm trying to explain how to create an offer to the adults. And the adults are kind of like glossing over. I'm looking out, the kids are like nodding their heads like, and so I'm like, I wonder if the kids are getting it. So I had like, I don't know, 7 or 8 of them, come on stage. They all came up and I started picking ideas. I'm like, okay, let's say you start a lawn mowing company. Like, what would an irresistible offer be? And we did this a bunch of times. And there's this girl who, she's a little tiny girl. And I'm like, what's your business? She's like, I'm a babysitter. I was like, okay, well, how many other girls do you know that are babysitters? She's like, all my friends babysit. I'm like, and how much do you charge? She's like, well, we all charge, I don't know, $5 an hour for babysitting. I was like, okay, so you all have the exact same offer. I was like, how do you make your offer more irresistible? And she has a smile on her face and she'd been taking notes while we were going through offers. She's like,
it depends how small the baby is. Like if it's actually like a baby or going to school, you can like teach it its ABCs so it can learn to like go to school.
I love that. Love it. Well, my new babysitting offer is this. She's like, I'm not just a babysitter. I'm actually a mentor for your kids. And when I babysit and your kids come in, I'm not going to sit there and watch TV with them. We're going to sit and we're going to read together. And then when I'm going to make them a meal, it's going to be a healthy meal. And then after the meal, I'm going to clean up the dishes. We're going to clean things up. I'll make sure your kids are in bed before they show up.
Not only are they going to watch Nora, they're also going to clean our entire house. They're going to teach her the ABCs. She's got no screen time. She's going to be Napped. Oh, yeah. My handwriting is the best ever.
And she had like this whole list of all the things she's going to do versus all the other babysitters. And she had this offer stack of here's everything you're going to get. I was like, oh my gosh, like I would pay you $20 an hour to babysit my kids right now because of like your offer is so much better than anybody else's. Yeah. And like also I looked out and I saw the adults like getting like, oh, that's why no one's buying my stuff because it's just as valuable. Like everyone's got the same product out here, right?
If you look at like our brainstorming sessions at ClickFunnels, it's literally that. Like, to me, it's like we're all sophisticated and we have a pattern and a processes. No, it's a bunch of us sitting in a room. We're like, what if we did this? What if we did this? What if we do this? Okay. And this is how I know if it's a good idea. If I'm like, hey, what if we do this? Dave's like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm like, that idea sucked. If I go, what do you think about this? Dave's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's how we know this is part of their offer.
Differentiation is everything.
100%. Yeah. Like typically most people are selling a commodity, right? Like you can buy like my iPhone. I can buy my iPhone at Best Buy or Apple.com, right? Like it's a commodity. You can buy it anywhere, right? So like, how do we turn that into an irresistible offer? I did this on stage one time at an event. I said, okay, this is my iPhone. I just bought it. It was $600. Like, who here give me $600 for it? You know, everyone's, half the audience hands goes up. And I'm like, but I want to try to auction off my phone right now. I bet you within 5 minutes now, I bet you I can get somebody in this room to give me $100,000 for this phone. I'm like, anyone want to give me $100,000 phone? And no one raises their hands. I was like, okay. So inside my phone, just so you know, over the last 15 years, I bought every marketing, sales, and personal development course known to man. Like there's not one that's come through I haven't bought. There's over $750,000 in marketing, sales, and persuasion course. Every course from the beginning of time till now that's ever come out, I own. I know that because I spend so much time on eBay looking for old marketing courses that you can't find anywhere. When they pop up, I buy them, I get them, put it in my phone, and they're there. So they get the courses and send them to my brother. My brother rips all the audios and the videos and puts them into MP4 files, and they're all my iBooks. I say, here's my iBooks account. I scroll through thousands of courses, like every course you can dream of. Most of them are out of print now. You can't get them anywhere. They're only here. It's like, so there's $800,000 worth of courses that are on my phone. You plug in and you listen to them. Number two, here's my address book. I'm like, there's Tony Robbins, Richard Branson, Garrett White. So when you get my phone, you also get my whole contact list of all the top influencers in the world. If you have my phone, you can call any of them and just ask and tell them that you got my phone and you had a question for me, you can talk to them. Let's see, what else can I put on there? My email's on there, so you have access to every contact, every vendor I use. You have my social platforms. So if you log into Facebook, Instagram, there's over 1 million entrepreneurs. I'm like, and then I start going through all the things on my phone. And then I was like, I'm gonna do a live auction here. I said, who here will give me $600 my phone? Boom, every hand goes up. Gav went to $5,000. $10,000, $10,000, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. Every point, a couple people's hands dropped. By the time we ended, I got to $500,000. There were 6 guys in the audience, still had hands up. I'm like, if you guys are serious, come on stage right now. You gotta be ready to write this check right now. 6 guys come up 500 grand, or willing to pay 500 grand for my phone. I'm like, why would you, like, 2 minutes ago you wouldn't pay $600 for this thing? Why? And he's like, I had the mic to one guy. He said, based on what's on that phone, that's actually a really, really good deal. And I was like, that's the same iPhone, right? Like, we have to become good at, like, how do you package things to make this offer legitimately irresistible? And that's the mindset you guys have to have as you're creating something. Otherwise, you're just a commodity. You're just an iPhone like everybody else. You can buy it from anyone. But this iPhone, it's special. It's unique.
Tons of value in it.
Yeah.
Tons.
But Russell's like, you can just go buy it at Best Buy. It's the same thing. What did I do? I picked a market that I understand, and I create an offer that will blow their minds.
Right, and now you need your traffic secrets so
Fill
that
it
you
up.
know how to fill that up. Right?
So
fill up the bucket.
where do people go to get this? Where's the best place?
Yeah. If you go to trafficsecrets.com, you can get a copy there for free. Just cover the shipping and handling costs, and then you'll have a chance to go through a funnel and see it.
Get the copy of the book for free. Go to trafficsecrets.com, study the funnel. You're going to have a wealth of information that you're going to learn just by going through that process.
Yeah.
So awesome, man. God bless you. Thank you for coming.
Take care, guys.
See you guys.
I remember like it was yesterday. That was my sister's birthday, and everybody else was in the kitchen having root beer floats. And I was in a different room with him, and he was just drinking, and he thought it would be fun to let me try it. So he did again and again, which is it's kind of odd considering you're only 4 and you're drunk, like shot after shot after shot, to the point to where I remember walking down the hallway to go to my bedroom and couldn't walk straight, bumping side to side into the wall, just trying to get into the room. You know, it was a rough 10 years. It was a rough 10 years. It wasn't my father. It was my sister's dad. He was my father figure, and he was a 3rd-degree black belt. And he was very physically abusive, verbally, mentally. And unfortunately, he was a drug addict and an alcoholic as well. So any little thing that triggered him, I was the source of his outlet, I guess. I was his training partner, I guess you could say. But I mean, I learned from it. Yeah, it toughened me up. I learned how to take a strike. Unfortunately, it shouldn't have happened that way. But I think I've done okay, you know, considering, you know, the type of, well, trauma that that somebody would have to go through for, you know, 10 years of their life. You know, lost my childhood, you know, that from 2 to 12. I mean, that's, you know, you're supposed to be playing chutes and ladders, you know, not drinking bourbon. My name's Tony Giannini. I run martial arts businesses, and I have an online site called dojohero.com where we help other school owners run better classes and help them to grow their school. I also have 2 brick and mortar martial arts facilities here in South Jersey. And we also do a transported martial arts business where we send buses to the schools around here, and we pick them up and we bring them back to the karate facility.
I want to ask you how you're feeling today. The louder out here, fantastic, sir. Everybody feeling today? Let's start off with 10 jumping jacks. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I met Dana in my karate school. She came to do kickboxing class. I only caught her coming in, you know, like once or twice before. And the girl that was teaching it knew that I had a thing for blonde hair and blue eyes, I guess. And she said, oh, you guys will make a great couple. So she had introduced us. She's beautiful. I mean, white dress, long blonde hair, blue eyes sparkling. Yeah, it was a sight to see. I remember we were at Echelon Mall. She was saying that her legs were very, very tired and weak. I just remember her getting out and only walking a few steps, and then she had to sit down on the curb. So that was the very first like real sign that we both saw as far as like the decline in her legs. Like that was the first time that she ever had to stop. We had an appointment to go see a neurologist, and they did CAT scans and everything else. And we went to her office, and we were sitting there, and I just remember being very cold. Said, "Oh yeah, you got MS." She was like, there's nothing we can do. I mean, we can just hope that we can stop the progression from moving forward. And she got up and basically walked out of the room. It was about 18 months after Jack was born. And then later on found out that sometimes pregnancy will trigger a dormant MS that's within you. I just thought to myself, I'm like, what is she going to do if something happens and she needs me here? If I'm at work every single night until 8 or 9 o'clock. So I kind of read the writing on the wall and started thinking about different ways to kind of curb that and figure out, what I need to do in order to be home, basically. I wanted to do something online because I figured that was probably my best opportunity to do something that I was good at, which is martial arts. And that's where I kind of found the drills niche for me, because that's what I was really good at. That's where I first started to get a better idea as to what I needed to do. And it also led me to realize that this isn't probably something that I'm going to do, because working on a website, that type of thing just was foreign to me. I didn't want to do it, to be honest with you. I wanted to go kick stuff. I want to go hit stuff. I don't want to sit at a computer, but I knew that it had to get done. So once I realized that I couldn't do it, I had to seek out somebody that could. I just remember like 2 months going by, and it was only supposed to take 4 weeks to get the whole thing done. And I kept getting the runaround about, oh yeah, we're, everything's going really great. The pages look awesome. I'll send you over some examples. Cool. Weeks go by, don't get any examples, don't hear anything, don't see anything. I don't even know if they started. I don't even think they started on the site, to be honest with you. I don't think they ever even worked on it. And then I never saw anything. I never got anything. There was no way for me to know whether or not they even did one thing on that. It was very, very frustrating. Having that inability to do something for yourself, right? That's dealing with a website. It's painful. It's painful when you have to rely on others to get things done and you don't have the power in your hands. This guy came over for an interview one day and he's like, well, this is what I can do for you. And I was impressed. I was like, how are you making all these pages like so fast? Oh, I use a software called ClickFunnels. I had this idea and I was like, you know what? Our industry needs this, because martial arts guys, when it comes to computer stuff, building websites and that type of thing, we're not that great at it. In about 2 weeks of me playing around in there, I had built 65, 70 funnels for everything you could think of, from parents' night outs to summer camps to lead generators, like full blown out from page one, the opt-in, all the way to the thank you page, like 4 or 5 steps. I just didn't give up. I was like, there's no going the other way anymore. I was like, I got to figure this out. There's no option. And that was the best option for me. So many people make excuses and don't believe that they can learn something just because they don't like it. Listen, I didn't like it. I'm glad that I learned it. Like I said, it puts the power right back in your hands. And then it's just, what's your imagination? What's your limit? What are you going to come up with? Well, it doesn't really matter. Now you can come up with whatever you want and just build it. It's funny when I think about it, because to think that I spent maybe $500 on the camera, the lights, the lavalier, and to think that I'm still using all the same stuff today. Within 5-year period, I'm right at almost $1 million just on the website by itself. To have a website do that kind of number without having to put a ton of effort into it after the initial effort, that's pretty good. And when you think about the return on investment on what I had to spend on a camera and lights and a backdrop, and then you put on top of it how many people you've helped, The money's that's just a side factor. That comes when you provide a good product.
It's a game of speed, almost like a game of tag on the back. So what we're going to do
It's not that difficult. What's difficult is getting inside your own head and letting that defeat mentality take over.
Build on the drill and then just let them have at it. It'll create a ton of energy in your class. I'm Tony with DopeHero.com. We'll see you next time.
It's that constant, what we used to call baby steps in class. Well, okay, you can't do this today. That's fine. Take a step towards it. And every day, if you do that, it's going to compound on each other. And eventually you'll be able to get to where you need to go. But just don't overwhelm yourself because you can do it. And it doesn't matter if it's a karate kick or if it's learning how to use ClickFunnels. If you want to be happy, try to find something that you love. For me, how can I not be happy? I teach martial arts to kids for a living. It's the greatest job there is.
So Redline Steel was a company that kind of just fell in my lap. Initially, I wanted to purchase something for my son. It was a really cool steel sign, and it had a place where you could engrave your name. There was this guy swinging a bat like this, looked super realistic, and all I wanted to do was be a consumer. I'll give you the short story. The guy ended up being very backlogged, said that he couldn't make this for me within a certain amount of time. He would reach back out whenever he was caught up. So I said, no worries. 10 minutes later, he reached out and said, holy crap, it's Colin Wayne. Can't believe it's you. I'd love to be at your level one day. I used to be a fitness model, landed over 50 magazine covers like Men's Health, Men's Fitness, Muscle and Fitness, Ironman, and so many magazine publications around the world. And I was making good money. Don't get me wrong, 30, 40 grand a month doing nothing but doing modeling without a PR firm, without an agency. That's cool. But at what point is what's next? As soon as he said that, instinctively, something triggered. Without hesitation, I said, well, maybe I can get you to that level. I do consulting with businesses. And, I see a lot of opportunity. Over the course of about 90 days, it ended up evolving where I wanted to partner. He agreed. And the day he was supposed to sign, he didn't show up. I told him, if you're not here within the next hour, I'm going to open my own company and I'll be your competitor. And so he said, well, I wish you the best of luck. And the very next day, I went and purchased my first plasma table.
Got a big air compressor, our CNC plasma.
I like this business. I want something that's mine, something that I can build from scratch. See what 1,000 labels look like? A lot of customers, a lot of orders. 10,185, and it is 844.
Almost 1,200 orders so far today. It's just 4:30. We are around about 58,000 pieces or products.
We are, to be transparent, pretty damn backlogged. This is from ClickFunnels. Anytime you do over $1 million in revenue, they'll send you one of these plaques.
How cool is that, huh?
We list 4 to 6 weeks. Manufacturing lead times on the website, in some cases up to 8.
Today, I'd love to hit $100,000 in sales.
Yeah. We signed a 10-year lease for a new building. It's 108,000, 960 square feet.
A year from now, things are going to look completely different. The challenges are going to be completely different.
Anger from people who never receive the gifts they ordered. Business failed to keep its promises. Some customers have been waiting since Thanksgiving.
More problems tonight for Redline Steel.
Redline Steel.
Redline Steel, 3,000 orders that still need to be shipped.
More than $100,000.
They have new management and are actually fully staffed.
Last 5% of the overdue orders. We have reached out to Redline Steel several times. Management declined to appear on camera.
Naja, it's been about a month since we first told everyone about the backup here at Redline Steel, but the owner tells me he and his team are working their hardest and working relentlessly to make it up to their customers.
I'd like to first off apologize for anybody that did not receive their order. I'm upset with myself because we didn't get this out. I made a promise to these customers. I wasn't able to deliver.
Because of the mistake, Wayne says he expected to get complaints from customers across the country who ordered items online, but Wayne says some people took it too far.
Other bystanders and other competitors that are actually attacking myself and my family and threatening my employees. They posted something with my home address, and I've got a 2-year-old daughter that's there.
To answer the question many people are asking, Wayne says the backup was due to a vital machine going down.
A lot of it was out of our control.
Wayne says that machine feeds most of the equipment in the company's facility. He says he hired more people and worked longer hours to try and combat the issue, but it didn't work. Now the company is offering those customers a refund and trying to get items out the door as soon as possible.
We are going to do everything we can to make it right for everybody that got left out for this Christmas delivery.
This year, there were some massive takeaways from that. So essentially, one of the biggest things was now we're leveraging stock items and bundle packs.
So we have multiple shells, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, all the way down to hotel. I've got at least $4 million in raw material ready to be shipped. So this is one of my main prospecting funnels. So we ship thousands of these on a weekly basis, and those are all prospected through landing pages. And so from this, we upsell them on a hope and a love, which we have inventory of as well. And then we'll ship the exact same piece to thousands of customers across the country using a funnel.
That's what we've done this year that's uniquely different than last year. Last year, it was more, how many orders can we get in the door without a clean and precise strategy of what is the KPIs that we can take away from this year. And we're actually using funnels for the first time for retargeting. Whereas we only used it for prospecting, now we're using it, and we built several landing pages built through ClickFunnels so that we can leverage our own internal audience to purchase higher average order value costs. So instead of more orders, which is equating to more product manufacturing and flows through the entire shop, I would rather put an emphasis on what can I do as a value perspective to the consumer so that they spend more money. So value tiers.
If we're not innovating and adapting to those changes, we're not making it better. We're going to make it worse in the long term. The world's constantly revolving. It's moving. Same with marketing. What's working today will not work tomorrow. This is what's scary, right? If you're using a traditional website right now, it's going to be so expensive for you to market and attribute new customers for growth in the future that if you're not finding good tools to sharpen, and get higher conversion rates, you're going to be left behind because these large corporations are shifting their marketing budgets into paid traffic across social media. So right now is the best time to get started.
It's going to get very hectic, so we're going to have to push out certain Instagram, Facebook.
All right, guys, y'all ready to see the past weeks? We have 14 different items that are available now for 24 hours. So all the way until Saturday, it's 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. This was our most common voted pick out of all of the previous 11 weeks. This is a teal finish, guys. We also have a blue, which is kind of a navy blue. So if you like the dream catcher, let us know. When we first started off, I had no clue what I was doing. We didn't start out with this. What you see right behind me, this isn't how we started. When I first started, we actually had a kitchen oven and we hot rolled steel together and made our own powder coat oven. When I look back at like 3 years ago to where we're at right now, it's insane, the difference.
Essentially 6 months or so, we grossed over $1 million in revenue. Year 2, we did close to 10 million. And then to date, we've done almost $40 million. Without funnels, we couldn't do that. So for us, we use ClickFunnels in a sense that we acquire customers at a low cost item on a perception of a high retail product. We could sell a 12-inch cursive love for $6 and free shipping, where most companies are like, I can't even get the raw material for this. Well, it's because we trust the process. It's a long-term thing. And it's about how can I convert this into purchase 3, 4, 5, 6 different times to stretch that lifetime value. Funnels is the way to do that. So from a business standpoint, it's allowed our company to grow very, very rapidly. It's allowed us to have, almost 1 million customers by the end of year 3. And it's evolving, and the evolution of Redline is going to continue to scale and grow well beyond what we initially envisioned.
This is my second time coming here. 3rd grade, I came here for a field trip, and my mom brought me along with my entire 3rd grade class, but I haven't been here since. And to be personally invited by the governor for my business, and I can't even put it into words. Like, I'm still in my 20s, and we're getting asked by the president of the United States, the local governors. What's great about that is keeping that momentum and keeping it moving in a positive direction. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So May 3rd, 2012, to date that I'll always remember, I was working out in the gym in the Paktika province in Afghanistan, and a 107 millimeter rocket impacted about 3.5 feet from me. From the grace of God, I'm still alive. And I'm the type of guy that looks 10 years ahead and wants to support not only myself, but certain veterans. So the big vision is that Redline, essentially what I could see is almost a rehabilitation center for veterans and an outreach program to get them back into the workforce. Building a compound, let's say 300, 400 acres, having essentially everything that you would need within the compound of our own installation. So having barracks where people can live, having some type of recreation center where people can gather and have some type of culture that's continuing to evolve and grow and build. It's not just the money play. I love concept to reality and also the humanitarian side where there's a lot of homeless veterans that need the chance. They need something to look forward to. And all they need is a small stepping stone. And so I want to be a voice for those people. Unlike a lot of people, we work 80, 90, 100 hours a week. It's literally a whatever it takes mentality. When things are doing great, I tend to throw a wrench in it, and we end up making crazy decisions. I thrive under pressure, the same way that our steel's made. It takes literally the air that we're breathing, and it has chambers of high pressure tanks, low pressure tanks, and that's what makes our steel. It's the same thing as an entrepreneur that's going through these journeys. We all go through it. Everybody does. Trust me, you're not alone. And that is how growth happens. And that being uncomfortable should, in theory, push you to be so much stronger. And then that's how you truly learn. You learn from those setbacks. You learn from those mistakes, and you say, that's not going to happen again. That setback is a set up for your future. That's how you can scale and build the foundation that's needed to grow a massive empire.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So my first question, how was session number 1? Did you guys have fun? If you did, let me know in the comments down below. I've been reading them during the break and really, really appreciate it. So yeah, let me know your big ahas, your big takeaways, the big, like, if you got anything yet. Hopefully my biggest goal with this first session was to get you guys just pumped and excited about building a list. So now we're gonna be diving into module number 2, which is about creating lead magnets. And so my goal is to give you guys tons of different ideas. So that's gonna be what we do right now. But that's kind of the game plan. And you guys enjoy the case study videos? We've got a whole bunch of really cool case study videos we're gonna show you guys during the breaks just to get you guys even more inspired and excited. So that's kind of the game plan. We all ready to get started again? All right, I'm gonna go back up here and turn into Russell course teacher guy here again in a second. So that's the game plan. Hey everyone, it's Russell. Welcome back to module number 2 of the List Building Secrets training course. Today, during this module, we're going to be going deep into how to build your lead magnets. So the first presentation I talked about just kind of the overarching business model as a whole of understanding lists and list building and the email sequences and everything. And so hopefully you've got a really good high-level view of everything now. And now we're going to start digging into each of the individual pieces and going deeper and diving deep into them. So this module will be going a lot into lead magnets, like how do you create stuff to get somebody to come to you and want to give you their email address. That's gonna be this next session, which I'm really excited for. And then after this, tomorrow's sessions, we're gonna start going into the actual emails, like the first emails you send when someone joins your list, the campaigns, the follow-ups, like all the other stuff, which is gonna be a lot of fun. So that's kind of the game plan right here. And so session number 2 is called Creating Your Lead Magnet. We're gonna show you guys how to create a lead magnet that will attract your dream customers and make them beg you to be on your list. I have people all the time who are like, what if someone joins my list and they get offended I send them an email? Like, that's okay. You want to get people who are like, who want to be on your list, who are excited, who are looking forward to your email every single day. One of the best things we get from people who send us messages like, I didn't get an email today from Russell. Is there something, like, did I miss one? Sometimes we'll have a campaign where it's like day 1 of 2, or day 1 of 5, day 2 of 5, day 3 of 5, and some reason they miss an email and they're freaking out, messaging our support desk. Like, I didn't get an email from Russell. Like, that's what you want. You want to get the right people in. And so that's kind of some of the stuff we'll be talking about is how do you create lead magnets to get the right people to come to you. If you've had a chance to read any of my books, .com Secrets, Expert Secrets, or Traffic Secrets, one of the very first things I talk about in all 3 of those books is figuring out who your dream customer is. And I spend so much time on that because one of the fastest ways to build a business you don't like is by attracting the wrong people to you. And I looked at the first 5 or 6 years of my business. I didn't like consciously know who I wanted to serve. I was just like creating stuff that I thought would be fun and throwing out there. I was getting all sorts of people. And what I realized, if you've read the intro .com Secrets, I talked about one day, basically I was laying in bed and I was so miserable that I said, I wish I had a boss so they could fire me because I didn't want to go in the office. And the big aha that I realized was that the lead magnets I put out there were attracting the wrong people to me. And so understanding lead magnets is huge because it's how you get your dream customer to actually come to you. How do you pick? How do you design? Like, what does this person look like? What are they going to be like? If you know who you want, you create a lead magnet and create bait to get the right person to come to you. So it all comes back to this first step is really understanding who is the customer you want to serve, who is the person you want to have on your list, okay? If you go back 15 years ago when I got started, when I first started kind of teaching people about internet marketing, like I was learning all these things. I was so excited, and I started putting out lead magnets that were attracting people. They were attracting people who wanted to get rich on the internet, which was not the kind of customer I wanted. But that was the bait I was putting out there. So because I put that bait out there, that's who I attracted. When I shifted, this is probably a year before we launched ClickFunnels. I remember I had a customer list of people who were like, how to get rich quick on the internet stuff. And like I was sending out, I don't know, those are the people I didn't want to be serving. I wanted to serve actual entrepreneurs. Like, who are the people who have businesses, who are trying to grow businesses? Okay, like those are the people I wanted to figure out who I wanted to serve. I knew that in the future we're going to create software. I didn't know we were going to create ClickFunnels, but I knew that those are the people I wanted to serve, right? And so we started thinking, like, what is something I could create that would attract that person in? And so the very first lead magnet we put out there to attract my dream customers was a report we put out called 108 Split Test Winners. How many of you guys have ever seen that book or bought that book? That book was like a transition point in my life. All the lead magnets, all things I put out prior were getting the wrong kind of customers. And I remember when I created that, I was like, this book, 108 Proven Split Test Winners, like all my existing audience, if I tried to sell them this book, they'd be like, I don't get it. What's a split test? Why? How does this make me money? Like they wouldn't have got it. And it almost repelled the people that I didn't want. But then for an actual business owner, an actual entrepreneur, actual someone who wants to grow a company online, like split test winners, like I want to see like which one, A or B, or, like they want to see the split test. They want to see all that stuff. Like it would attract my dream customer and repel the people I didn't want. I remember that we created that report. I was so proud of it. It was all the split tests we'd run in like 20 different businesses. It was all like, which landing page converted the highest, which email sequence, what open subject lines, like all the stuff that I was personally geeking out about, that I was excited by. And I remember putting it out there. And at first, again, I sent emails to my existing customers and almost nobody bought. And I was like, oh, okay. Those people don't want it, but I know the people that I want to serve, that's what they want. That's the bait that's going to attract the right fish for me. So we put that thing out there, and it took a while to get the right audiences to figure out who they were. And then as soon as people started buying that, started bringing in the right customers. And we sold about 10,000 copies of that report about the time we launched ClickFunnels. And that was the seed list that launched this entire movement. Okay, it was us attracting the right customers in. So the first thing before we dive too deep into creating lead magnets to suck in your dream customers is I want you to think about who is your dream customer, what those people look like. And then I got to create bait, I got to create magnets, I got to create things that will repel the people I don't want and attract the people I do want. Okay, and so that's what you got to kind of start thinking through as we go through this. So I wanted to kind of give you that frame before we jump into this. Now, as I was working on this presentation, there's a lot of different types of lead magnets. I was trying to categorize them so I could share with you the core ones. I kind of broke them down into 8 different categories. I'm going to show you examples of all of them. There's not one that's better or the worse. They're just different ways to do it. And I've used all of these at different points in my career, different funnels, different things. And so I just want you guys thinking through this. My biggest goal for you guys during this session is to figure out like what's the one, what's one of the core, like what's one lead magnet you could create, okay? So I'm gonna share with you probably 100 ideas. I want you to think about for yourself, like what's one that you could create right now that can start this thing. And then eventually you can do another one, but I want you to just right now focusing on just one, okay? So don't get overwhelmed by all the ideas. I want you to look at all the ideas and think like, what's the easiest, the coolest, the most fun one that you wanna actually create? Okay, so here's 8 types of lead magnets. Number 1 is your sales message, and I'll talk about this in detail here in a minute. Number 2 is what we call related bridge content. Number 3 are your frameworks. Number 4 are demos and case studies. Number 5 are summits. Number 6 are quizzes. Number 7 are contests. And number 8 are special offers, okay? And so your business will fit into 1 or 2 or multiple of these things, okay? All right, so that's I'm gonna dive into the first one, which is one of my favorites that I think most people don't understand, but it's one of the most powerful. So lead magnet number 1 is your actual sales message. Okay, so to kind of set this one up, I want you to go back in time to earlier today when we did module number 1 and talked about the offline sales funnel. Okay, if you look at this, the lead magnet, the people did all the ads in magazines and newspapers and things like that were saying, call this number for a free report. Okay, and the free report was a long form sales letter to sell the product. So the report, the actual sales message, the sales letter was the lead magnet. Does that make sense? So if I was calling a phone number saying, hey, I want to get the free report about 3 cool ways to blah, 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 and they send that to me, that packet, the thing that I get in the mail here, that was the sales message. That's also the lead magnet, okay? So their lead magnet was the sales message, okay? I want you to understand it because I'm going to show you how the practical application of this, a whole bunch of different ways on your own personal business, okay? So start thinking about this. I'm going to lead with, let's say right now you're on here and you don't have a business yet, right? And you're an affiliate or you want to be an affiliate, okay? So I'm going to take it from an affiliate standpoint first, and then we'll show it to you if you have your own product, okay? So if I'm an affiliate, I want you to understand these are 3 steps, okay? Step number one is you got to find a hot offer. Find an offer that you want to promote. Okay, that's the first thing here. Step number two is after you figure out, like, here's the message, here's a hot offer, here's a product that's selling. I want to look at that and figure out what's the hook, what's the one thing in here that provides value that somebody would actually want from the sales message of the product I'm promoting. You're going to pull that out. And number three, then that becomes the thing you give away on a squeeze page. Okay, so for example, this is an offer. It's called the Miracle Shakes. Miracle Shake treats the root cause of diabetes. I was looking on ClickBank a couple days ago, and this was one of the highest converting offers in the health and wellness space, right? So here's an offer. And so I started watching this video, and in the video, they talk about this Miracle Shake. Okay, that helps people with diabetes. Okay, no, I'm not an affiliate for this offer, but I was watching this as if I was. I'm watching this video. In this video, there's education, right? Most good sales videos have content involved in them as well, right? So I'm looking in there like, what's the nugget? What's the one thing that's the valuable piece of content that somebody would want from this sales message, right? So I'm watching this thing, and as I'm watching, I said, okay, the one thing I'm going to pull out of the sales video that people are going to want, the hook, the idea, the big thing that I can like share is that there's this one thing. It's called the Miracle Shake, right? So what is the Miracle Shake that helps cure diabetes or helps treat the root cause of diabetes? I want to be careful because I don't know, again, exactly what this product does. If it actually works, I have no idea. I'm not recommending this product. I'm just saying. So I figured out that watching the sales video, like there's the shake they talk about in the sales video that is the one piece of value from the sales video. So I pull that out. And then from there, I make a landing page that says, free video reveals a new Miracle Shake that treats the root cause of diabetes. Give me your email address, and I will send you this video where you can learn about this shake. Okay? So the sales message is the actual lead magnet. Does that make sense? So when I set this up, my funnel is very simple. It's one page. It's a squeeze page for me to lead squeeze. I drive traffic to it. Okay? They say, if I tell them, give me your email address, I'm going to tell you guys the Miracle Shake. They give me your email address, and I redirect them to the video, right, which tells them the answer to this question, and then it sells the product or the service at the end. Does that make sense? So it's a really powerful way if you're an affiliate is go look at the person you're promoting, look at the sales video, look at the webinar, look at the thing that they're doing, and listen to it. And like, what's the big hook? What's the idea? What's the thing from this sales message I can pull out that becomes the hook that gets somebody to give me their email address, right? Okay? Because think about it, most good like, if you look at any of my webinars, right? If you follow my webinar structure, the first hour of any presentation is training, right? You share 3 different secrets and you're talking about the story and all these things, like all those different content are hooks that you could give somebody. Like if you've ever seen my funnel hacks presentation or the secrets masterclass, right? You could go in and find any piece of like any big idea from in there, and that you pull that one thing out, and that becomes the thing you give away on the squeeze page. They register on the squeeze page, and then you take them to the actual sales message. Okay. So I understand that as an affiliate, it works really, really good. Okay. Now, again, if it's your own product, so this is an example. This is offers no longer live. This is our funnel university we sold for a long time, and I had a video here. And in the video, I went through and I shared a whole bunch of my really cool marketing tests and split tests and things like that. I was showing like how this outconverted this, and a bunch of things like that. Okay. So I showed that in the video, and then at the end of the video, I sell the funnel university print newsletter. So I went back to this. I said, okay, this is my own product. Okay, my own product. Like I said earlier, the sales message is the hook. Okay, so I came back and this landing page I made said, basically they came to this page here, they clicked on the button and said, free video reveals the top marketing experiments that will increase your traffic conversion and online sales. Okay, so my sales message is the lead magnet. Does that make sense? They come here, they give me the email address, they join my list, they watch the video, which gives them the content, gives them the marketing experiments, and at the end of it, it sells the product. Okay, so when do you understand? Because a lot of times I think people overthink it. Like, I got to write an ebook with 50 pages. I got to do this thing, like all these things to create their actual lead magnet. Well, if you understand, like your sales message can be the actual lead magnet. How many of you guys just had an aha there? Oh, right. I don't have to create a lead magnet that leads into this. I can just figure out what's the content piece, pull that out, and that is the lead magnet. Okay, this is another one. For those who've seen the Funnel Builder Secrets presentation, this is when I spoke at Grant Cardone's stage. For everybody, same thing. We went back there and said, okay, what is the big aha that I teach in this presentation? Well, the big thing is this new funnel strategy that almost nobody knows about that helps you grow your company really quick, right? So that became the lead magnet. Was like, hey, I'm going to show you a free presentation, 90-minute presentation, where I teach you about this new secret funnel strategy. Opt in here, give me your email address, and I'll take you to this presentation. Okay, and so again, my sales message is the lead magnet. I'm not creating something new for it. I'm just figuring out what's the hook, putting out, and that's what I'm getting someone to give me the email address in exchange for. Does that make sense? Okay. Another one. This is Jim Edwards and I. We have a demo teaching funnel scripts. Okay. Same thing. We pulled out the sales message and pulled out the big hook, which is how to get your sales letters, scripts, and webinar slides and emails all written in as little as 10 minutes without hiring an expensive copywriter. So they go in the register to see that. Boom, the sales message is the lead magnet in there as well. Okay, same thing if you do a product launch. Okay, if you follow like a Jeff Walker style product launch, where there's 4 different videos teaching you something, the workshop, the 4 videos are the lead magnet. Okay, so someone comes here and says, hey, give me your email address. I'm gonna take you through this free workshop where you're gonna learn how to do blah. And at the end of it, obviously you're gonna sell them something, but the sales message is the lead magnet. Okay, so you guys do that over and over and over again, but that's the core concept, okay? It's just taking the vehicle that you're currently using to sell something and come back, and that becomes the lead magnet, okay? All right, lead magnet number 2. This one's a little tricky and kind of complicated to understand, but when you get it, this one's really powerful and gives you the ability to create lead magnets super fast. So hopefully this one helps as well, okay? So this is one where the thing that you're gonna be selling at the end is different than the lead magnet, okay? If that's the case, then you create what we call a bridge page in the middle. Okay, so this is an example. This is one of our old products. It's called .com Secrets X, and it was a product teaching people how to get traffic. Okay, now I was trying to figure out like how do I create a lead magnet into this? Because the sales video was just a sales video. There was no like real content teaching anything, so I couldn't say like here's a free video about how to whatever, because there was no value in the video. It was just a sales video. So it's like, what do I need to do? And I thought, okay, well if someone wants traffic, what's something that before that? What do they need right before they get traffic, right? I said, well, before they need traffic, they need a website. So we created a lead magnet that was basically a free website. Okay, and you can do this really easily inside of ClickFunnels, where you build a funnel, a share funnel, whatever, and that's what we gave away. So the ad, the squeeze page was, let me give you this money-making website for free. Just give me your email address. So they say, oh yeah, I want the free money-making website. They put their email address in. Then I take them to a bridge page that says, okay, I just emailed you the website. Okay, so it's coming to you. So now you got a website. This video will explain it. But now that you have a website, the second step is you have to get traffic. So click on step number 2 now, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to get traffic. They click on step number 2, and then it goes to the actual sales message. Okay, see how it works? So I figured out what do they need before they need my product. This works really good if you're selling something that maybe more advanced or maybe people aren't ready for yet. You create a lead magnet that bridges them gap number 1 and then takes them to number 2. Okay, I can show you guys tons of examples of times we've done this. One good one is 30days.com, which was a telesummit, right? It was a summit teaching people how to get started. If they lost everything in 30 days to get started, what would you do? And so that first offer, they opt in. It shows them here's how I would get started in 30 days. And now it says, now you understand that. Now the first step you need is a ClickFunnels account. Step 2 now, go get your ClickFunnels account. So it bridges someone from where they are to where you need them to be. Okay, so that's how a bridge funnel works. Another example of this is I wanted to get people to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Right? And so it's hard just like go up to my YouTube channel and then you hope that they come back and they watch your videos. You hope that they clicked on the subscribe notification button. So it's like I wanted to figure out a way to get more people in. So we had this little bridge funnel that says basically this is what the squeeze page looked like. It said, I looked at my entire YouTube channel, like, I don't know, 1,000 videos. I was like, there's one video in there that's really unique. And it was when I spoke at Genius X, which was a mastermind that Joe Polish and Dean Graciosi put on. I spent $100,000 to be in that group. And they had me do a little 30-minute presentation. And so my video, that presentation is on my YouTube channel. Okay, do you guys know that? It's really good. People paid $100,000 to be in the room, and my presentation is on my YouTube channel. But now you got to figure out where is it? How do I find it? So what I do for my ads, I come here and say, hey, if you give me your email address, I'm going to give you this bootleg video for free. Okay, it's awesome, it's amazing, but it's the content that's already created. It's already on my YouTube channel, right? But they don't know how to find it. So I put them through this page. They give me the email address. Then I can email them. Okay, here's where that video is. Go watch it. And then now I have them on a list. Every time a new video comes out, I can email them another link to like, hey, here's a new video, check it out. Oh, here's a new video, check it out. Here's a new video, check it out. I've done the same thing before on my podcast, right? I've done it before where I have like, I don't know, 600 or 700 episodes of my podcast, but there's like 5 or 10 that are like people's favorites. It's like I can pick one. Well, let's say I talked about hook story offer. I picked one where I talked about some core concept. I can say, hey, I've been running my podcast for 5 years now. If you want my number 1 episode, the best thing I've ever created, that will have the highest downloads, give me your email address and I'll send it to you for free. They opt in, you send them that exact episode. So does that make sense? Like I'm able to bridge that by using content that's already out there, my own content that's already there. Another good example is, again, this kind of comes back to talked about earlier with ClickFunnels. So I want to sell ClickFunnels, right? But my lead magnet, if it's like, hey, give me your email address, I'll tell you about ClickFunnels, that's not a very sexy lead magnet. So I need to figure out, like, what can I create ahead of time that's going to bridge the gap between ClickFunnels where they are today. Okay, so what we did back in the day is I had this funnel that was generating 127 leads a day for us, and so I started giving away for free. I said, hey, here's this funnel that we have. It averages on average 127 leads a day. If you want to use it for your business, click here and give me an email address. They get the email address. They come over here. Step number 1. I'm like, here you go. There is the funnel you can use. And step number 2 now, go get your ClickFunnels account so you can use this funnel, and boom, push them to ClickFunnels. Does that make sense how it works? So the bridge page is all about like grabbing where they're at, connecting them, and then moving them on to the next step. Okay, this is one that we did. This one, I never actually ran this, but I was showing an example. I had someone at one of our events who was like, well, I'm a real estate investor. How would this work for me? And I was like, it's really simple. So do I have a laser on this? I can't remember. Nope, I don't. Okay. So over here, so step number 2 then is if you were selling a real estate course, right? So step number 2 is a real estate course. So you click right here. And then step number 1 is a rare video. So what happens, I went to, well, I'll show you in a minute. So I posted a video of Robert Kiyosaki teaching about teaching this really cool thing, okay? So I made my lead magnet, my landing page basically was this video here. It says, okay, 60 minutes to get rich. Get this free video from Robert Kiyosaki for free. Just enter your email address in. So they click there. Boom, they get the free Robert Kiyosaki video because most people will liken Robert Kiyosaki to real estate, right? So I can drive it to Robert Kiyosaki's, I can target Robert Kiyosaki's audience, I can target other real estate investors. They come here to get the free video, they opt in, it goes to the video, they watch it, step number 1, right? Now there's a bridge, like Robert Kiyosaki real estate, they understand that. And then down here's like step number 2 now, go check out my real estate course, my real estate training, my real estate YouTube channel, my real estate podcast, whatever that is, I can bridge them now to my products. And it's very simple and easy to do. Okay, and the way I did this funnel, which was kind of fun, is I literally just went to YouTube, and this is a video that's on YouTube that's got almost 500,000 views of Robert Kiyosaki teaching this. Okay, it's publicly free on YouTube. There's an embed code. I just embedded that on the bridge page, and then people went over. Does that make sense? Let me go back so I can show it to you. Okay, so I took this video of a known celebrity that they like. It's free. It's on YouTube already. And I made that video the lead magnet that gets somebody to come in. It said, I'm gonna give you this free rare video from Robert Kiyosaki teaching blah, 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 blah. They opt in, they give me the email address. I show them the video, I embed it on this page here. And step number 2, then I can push them into whatever the product service that I'm selling is, okay? Again, that was a little more advanced, but for some of you guys, hopefully that connects with you really, really fast. Okay, start thinking about who are the gurus in your industry who have really cool videos on YouTube. You can use those as lead magnets. Who's got a really cool free podcast? You can use those as lead magnets to bring people in, give them the episode, give them the show, and from there push them into your funnel as well. Okay, all right, now let's move into lead magnet number 3. This is the ones I like to do a lot, and so I'm gonna show you guys a bunch of examples. Number 3 is figuring out what is your framework. Now, for those of you guys who were at Funnel Hacking Live, I spent my intro keynote session for about 90 minutes talking about frameworks. And then I showed people, this was my framework on how to teach frameworks. So what is a framework? So framework is your proprietary process and how you do anything, okay? So for example, like this right here, this is my framework for how to teach frameworks, okay? And so I have a framework for, in fact, we're gonna do some pop quizzes here. See who is paying attention to what I do, okay? So I'm going to start drawing a picture of a framework that I teach, and I want all of you guys at home who are watching this to comment down below, like, what is the framework that you're seeing right now, okay? All right, so here's the framework here. We got this. All right, what does this look like? Who knows what this is? I'm assuming, usually when I do this demo live, there's people are freaking out. Okay, this right here is my perfect webinar framework, right? Perfect webinar framework, okay? If you see that, you're like, oh, there's Russell's perfect webinar framework, right? And I can teach this like, hey, here's the intro session, here's your big domino, here's secret 1, 2, 3, here's your stack and your close. Like there's the framework, right? Most of my frameworks, you can tell it's a framework for me if there's a doodle picture, right? If you open up any of my books and you look inside, there's all these doodles, like those are my frameworks. I doodle out my frameworks. Other people's frameworks are like the 6 steps to blah, the 17 steps to whatever. Like everyone's got a different proprietary framework that's yours, that's unique, okay? Now your own framework is one of the most powerful lead magnets in the world, right? In fact, my perfect webinar framework has generated more leads almost than even my books. It's like, here's my webinar framework that made me a millionaire. Who here wants this for free? Go give me your email address. I'll send you this framework along with a video that explains exactly how to use it. Boom, huge lead magnet. Okay, so what are the proprietary things that you do or that you know you can turn into some kind of a framework? Okay, I always think about frameworks like let's say my mom came to me and she's like, Russell, I want to learn how to build a funnel. Or Russell, I want to learn how to make a cake. Or Russell, I want to learn how to blah, whatever your business is, right? If I said that, my mom comes to me, okay, how do I build a cake? Hey, mom, here's step number 1. Here's step 2. Here's step 3. Here's step 4. And here's the framework, the recipe, whatever you want to call it, on how you do the thing. Okay, so think about your business, your product, your service, whatever you sell. What is your own proprietary framework that you have that you can create? Okay, and the next question is like, well, how do I turn that framework into something that's sellable or that I can use as a lead magnet? Okay, and so if you look at this right here, this is like, again, this is my framework to teach frameworks, which is kind of like a dream inside of a dream. But I'm going to teach you guys really quickly how how we teach frameworks, just so that it'll make the value of your lead magnets go up dramatically when you do it this way. Okay. All right. So when you teach a framework, what a lot of people do mistakenly is like they'll have a checklist. Like here's my framework for how to make a cake. The problem is that by default, you just handing someone a framework, there's no intrinsic value in that, right? It's just like, oh, here's a set of, like if I just give you this, like here's my framework, how to do a webinar. You're like, okay, there's no value in that in and of itself right now, right? So the way I build the values by taking someone through this process. So step number one in the process is you have to tell someone how you learned or you earned this framework, okay? By doing this, it increases the value of the lead magnet, the value of the framework, okay? So for example, if I say, here's my perfect webinar framework, it's awesome, you're like, okay. But if I tell you, okay, this is the deal. 15 years ago was the very first time I ever went to a seminar. And when I went there, I remember sitting in the audience, I was sitting on stage, and I saw the very first speaker get on stage. And I'd never seen someone sell from stage before. But he got up there, he did a 90-minute presentation. At the end of it, he sold some product, and it was a $2,000 course. And I remember watching as people from all around the room started jumping up and running to the back. I was doing the math, I'm like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And I watched as this guy made like $60,000 in a 90-minute presentation. I was like, oh my gosh. Then the next speaker got on stage. He stood up there and he did the same thing. He spoke for 90 minutes. At the end of it, he sold it. And after he sold, it was a $5,000 course. And I was doing the math. People were running to the back. And he made over $100,000. I saw that over and over for 3 days during this 3-day weekend event. And I saw people, person after person, selling. And I was like, I have to learn the skill. And so about a month later, I got asked to speak at an event. I came on stage and I was like, I can teach way better than all the other speakers. Like, I'm going to make so much money. I came on stage. I taught like, my heart out. I did the best I could. I was like, just, giving my heart and my soul. And I did this whole thing. And at the very end, I sold my product and I tried to get people to run the back. And the most embarrassing thing happened to me. Nobody moved. It was so, imagine standing on a stage in front of 200 people, you sell something and nobody moves. And you're like awkwardly like, well, okay, bye. And you walk off. Like it was heartbreaking. In fact, I remember after I got done, I ran, after I left the room, I was so embarrassed. And I was speaking on day one of a 3-day event. I went to my hotel room, went to the elevator, hid in my hotel room. I ordered coconut shrimp and Haagen-Dazs ice cream and watched movies for 3 days. I did not leave the room again because I was so embarrassed that nobody bought my product. I was like, I will never sell from stage again. It's the worst thing in the history of the world. I will never do it again. And then a little while later, I went to another event. I saw someone else do it. I saw someone else. I'm like, I have to learn this. Like, if I can see someone make $100,000 in an hour on stage, like I have to learn. Like, I have to do everything it takes to learn the skill. And so I started learning. I started taking training programs. I started going and studying people like Dan Kennedy and people like Ted Thomas and some of the best stage presenters in the world. I watched person after person after person. And finally, I got the guts to go on stage again. I tried, and I tried it again. At that time, I made like 2 sales. And I went back and I tweaked some things. I went back and tried it again. And I tried it again. I started hiring coaches and people look at my slides. I tried over and over. And I spent 5 years of my life about once or twice a month going around the world, flying around the world, traveling, practicing, watching other speakers, learning until I figured out how to create a presentation that would sell. And what I did is I sat down and I mapped out, this is the presentation, how to sell. I mapped out this little framework and I started using it over and over and over again. And fast forward now, 10 years later, we had this new company we launched called ClickFunnels. And I sat down, I took this framework, I pulled it out and I filled in the blanks for all the different things for ClickFunnels. And the very first time I stood on stage and I did this presentation and we sold ClickFunnels, and that's how we grew ClickFunnels from 0 to $100 million a year company, was by using this framework to sell on stage. In fact, some of you guys know I spoke at Grant Cardone's event, and I did this exact framework on stage in 90 minutes, did $3.2 million in sales. Okay, so this is the framework. How many of you guys want the framework now? Right? Boom. Now you're like, oh my gosh, like this is how he learned it, how he earned it. He went through all this pain and struggle and process to be able to get it. Okay, so that's step number one in your framework and teaching is. Number one is, how did you learn and you earn it? By telling that story, it increases the value of the thing you're about to give them. If you just give it to them, then people don't value it. Okay, it's like in the scriptures, Christ talks about casting your pearls before swine. If you just cast your pearls before swine, you just give them the framework, no one's going to care about it. Okay, so my ads are typically me talking about how I learned or I earned this framework, right? The landing page, I have a video talking about how I learned or I earned this framework and why it's so valuable. And now, when they give you an email address, they're so excited for it because their value has increased so high, it's very easy for them to want to get it, right? So that's step number one. Step number two then is you teach them the strategy of the framework, okay? So the strategy is like, here's what you do. Here's step one, here's step two, here's step three, here's step four, right? And so it's the strategy kind of walking through the process. So the strategy is like, if I have a checklist, it's me walking through, okay, number one is the introduction, you do this. Number two is this, number two, and you walk through the strategy. Okay. And typically for most lead magnets, like when someone's, I'm using the story about how I learned it, I earned it to get them to want the thing. And then when they give me the email address, I give them the framework and teach them the strategy. That's typically kind of where the lead magnet ends. Okay. Now I'm not going to go too deep into this, but if you want to look like, how do you turn How do you turn that your framework into now what you're selling afterwards? Then that's when step 3 and step 4 come, right? Typically, someone now is going to pay you to upgrade to like your webinar your webinar secrets training course or whatever. Now you go for 3 days deep on the tactics of all the little things that happen, and you can share case studies as well. Okay, so again, I'm not going to go too deep into frameworks. That's outside the context, but I want you to understand like that's how we do these things, right? So you have your own frameworks. So I'm going to show you guys a bunch of examples of people that have frameworks. They've created these frameworks, and that's what they're giving people. And like that's the lead magnet they're giving people to get them to join their list. Okay, if I can find my clicker. All right, so the first I'm going to show you guys, I showed you this one earlier today, but still one of my favorites, okay? This is Brendan Bouchard's framework, his one-page productivity planner. It's a framework he gives people, right? It's a literally one-page framework. You opt in, you get an email address, and then the thank you page then, now here's where he tells you the story, how you learned or you earned it, tells you the overarching strategy of it, gives you a download link to it, and then I believe in this one, I can't remember, but I think he pushed you into the next funnel, which is where he actually sells you the tactics on how you implement this, deeper into your life. Okay, but they see how it's just a framework. So my question for you is, what kind of framework could you create based on this concept? This is what funnel hacking is all about. You see someone doing something like, okay, how can I do that for my business? Is there a one-page productivity, not one-page productivity, maybe there's a one-page recipe for how to build a cake, or a one-page recipe for how to get more ads into your funnel. Maybe there's one-page something about how real estate agents can be more productive. There's one page about how wrestlers can be more productive. Like whatever your business, your market is, how do you take this concept and how can you tweak it to be able to work for whatever it is that you're selling in the future? Okay. All right. Some of you guys saw this last week. We did this. We did a Funnel Fridays, teaching people our framework for how to launch a membership site in less than 1 hour. So it was Jim Edwards and I. We jumped on. We did an hour-long presentation, and this was the lead magnet. Was the framework. Here's the framework of how to launch your first membership site in less than 1 hour. Okay. I think we had 17,000 people registered for this. For those who tried to get on live, we maxed out the lines over 5,000 people. It was crazy, but we taught this framework. And at the end of it, we gave people to share funnels to a whole bunch of really cool membership funnels that we'd actually built for them. Okay. But it's a framework. Okay. And the framework was how to launch your first membership site in less than 1 hour. Okay. So we look at this as funnel hackers. How do you tweak this concept for your business? Okay. Can you teach people how to launch blah in less than blah? How to lose 10 pounds in less than a week? Here's a workshop on how to do, I'm about to cake for some reason. It's because I'm on a ketogenic diet right now. I'm craving sugar. Here's how to launch your own cake recipe in less than a day. How to make your own fluffy waffles with sugar in, anyway. You get the point, right? You look at this and how can you tweak that for whatever the product or services that you're selling to turn it into a lead magnet, okay? What's your framework for how you do something? Okay, this event right here, if you notice, this is a 3-day live event. This whole event is a lead magnet. Oh, okay, this is my framework on how we build the lists. Okay, you guys all opted in. You came here to learn how to build lists. That is the framework for how we build lists, right? Okay, so what is your framework for how you do anything? Okay, could you turn to a 3-day workshop just like this to get people to register and show up so you could teach them live? I promise you could. Okay, all right, I'm gonna start showing you guys some other ones of other companies. So I have a swipe file. Every time I go to any lead funnel of somebody generating leads, I take screenshots of every single page. I have a whole Trello board with thousands of different pages because I want to see like what are people doing so I can get ideas for myself. So I'm sharing you guys a bunch of screenshots from my swipe file to get the wheels in your head spinning. Okay, this is Forbes. This is one of their frameworks. Okay, it's the little black book of billionaire secrets. Okay. So that's a lead magnet they use to get people to come in. Okay, so how can you tweak that for your market? The little black book of weight loss secrets, the little black book of whatever. Okay. Oh, Russell, do you have the marketing secrets black book? Oh, I do. One of my lead magnets is the marketing secrets black book. It's one I showed you guys earlier that's gotten 270,000 leads. Okay, I literally took this. They have the little black book of billionaire secrets. I have the 99 marketing black book secrets. Like very, very simple. Okay, I just took that, tweaked it for myself. How can you tweak something like that? Okay, this is another one I like. So 7 monstrous ways to improve your AdWords performance. Okay, their framework is 7 ways to improve whatever. Okay, do you have 7 ways to improve whatever it is your product, your service, your dream customer would want? It can be in any area of life. 7 ways to do this. Boom, there's a very simple one that you could model. Okay, here's another one. 12 ways to convert with overlays. Okay, what are 12 ways you can lose weight? 12 ways to start a business this weekend. 12 ways to increase your ads, or to make better ads. 12 ways to make waffles better. Whatever you got, right? Plug it in there. Same thing. HubSpot's got there's an infographic. There's 15 cool infographic templates and PowerPoints. Okay, can you make templates? Can you make PowerPoint slides? Again, another very powerful lead magnet. Someone's going to want your framework built out in slides in things. When we did the membership funnel secrets last week, not only was it the framework for how we build a membership site in under an hour, it was also we built the templates, right? So HubSpot's got their 15 infographic templates. We gave people 8 membership funnel templates that were pre-built, pre-designed from as well. Again, another amazing lead magnet to draw people in. Okay, digital marketer. They've got so many good examples of these. These are a couple. This is one is the ultimate social media swipe file. They literally just went and they found a whole bunch of really cool social media ads, took screenshots of them, and that became the lead magnet. Okay, here's a whole bunch of different swipe files. If you look over here, the 10-minute social media audit. Okay, they created a checklist, a framework. Like if we were to audit someone's social media account, here's the 10-minute social media audit we would do, which is give someone that audit for free if they give us the email address. Boom, now it's a lead magnet. Okay, very quickly now we're generating a list. Okay, here's another digital marketer, the Facebook ads template library. Okay, they found a whole bunch of templates of cool ways you do ads, took screenshots, made it their own framework, and boom, that became a lead magnet. Okay, this is another digital marketer one, the ultimate email marketing metrics guide and tracking sheet. So they said, okay, what is our framework for how we judge if an email is successful? What's our metrics? What's our guides? What's our white paper look like that we look for inside of our company? Let's turn that into a lead magnet and give away to other people. Okay, how many things you guys doing in your business right now, or doing in your workouts, or doing in your whatever your thing is that you can look at and be like, man, I could turn this into a lead magnet really quickly. If I just make some tweaks and some changes, it becomes a lead magnet very quickly. Okay, a lot of times the byproduct of you doing your business becomes one of the best lead magnets, right? So if you think about this with both of these, my guess is that digital marketer, they had a Google Drive folder with all their different Facebook ad templates that their designers designed from. Okay, it's a byproduct what they're doing anyway. It's like, hey, I bet other people actually like this right now, right? Same thing over here, the ultimate email metrics guide. Like here's our email metrics we look through every single day to judge if what we're doing is working. What if we turn that into a lead magnet? Boom, that fast. The framework they're using internally becomes the actual framework that they use. Okay. All right, we're gonna shift away from business, share some other ones. So this is Kaylin Poland. They run Lady Boss Weight Loss. So this is her weight loss kickstart. Okay, so she has a quick start guide. Here's how to quick start your weight loss. Boom, step 1, step 2, step 3. Give me an email address. I'll send it to you for free. Okay, weight loss kickstart. Very simple, very easy. Okay, think about this for you. Is there a business kickstart? Is there a finance kickstart? Is there a chiropractic kickstart? Is there a dental quick start? Is there a eating locally in my town quick start? Like, what is it for you? Like, what's your kickstart? Okay, if you have a kickstart, that becomes a very powerful, very fast lead magnet to create. Okay, audiobooks. She also took her book that she sells over here for $15 on Amazon into the audiobook, and that became a lead magnet for her as well. Okay, other things she's created, other content you can put in there and you can use. Okay. One of my favorite examples, I was talking to Jason Fladlin about this, and he was trying to create an offer, and he was like, I need to create a really good lead magnet to get somebody to do something. And so what he did is he was like, I didn't just want to like call someone on the phone and interview him, because like there's no good story behind the lead magnet. He's like, and he was trying to teach people how to do e-commerce funnels. And so he said, Russell, who's the number one person that's got an e-commerce funnel inside of ClickFunnels? And at the time, it was Trey Llewellyn. He had the first e-commerce funnel that blew up. He got 2 Common Club X Award like literally overnight. It was crazy. And he at the time he was the number one selling person on ClickFunnels. And so Jason called him up and was like, hey, Trey, can I interview you? And Trey's like, sure. And he's like, well, I need to wire you some money. And Trey's like, no, don't worry about it, dude. I'll do the interview for free. And he's like, no, you don't understand. I need to make this elite. Like, I need to make this sexy. I need to make it better. So he's like, can I wire you $5,000 to interview you? And Trey was like, sure, I guess. So Jason wired him $5,000, did the interview. And now the lead magnet says, I paid the number one e-commerce seller on ClickFunnels $5,000 for a private consultation to find out the ways that he blah, 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 that nobody else did. You want free access to this? Give me your email address down below. Okay. Boom. Now went from like, here's an interview about some e-commerce guy to like, I spent $5,000 on a personal consultation. You see how sexy that becomes now? Like that becomes like the value of that thing is huge. The lead magnet value dramatically skyrockets up. Okay. You get way more leads, way higher quality because of that. Right. So the story behind how you learned it, how you earned it, like all those things weave into all the things we're doing here as we're generating leads. Okay, a bunch of other cool ones. Okay, this is a Barefoot Rider. Discover 9 ways you can make a very good living as a writer. Okay, how many different ways can we tweak this for our business? Okay, like discover 9 ways that you can become better at bowling in your backyard. I don't know. Discover 9 ways that you can. You're right, and you create a little PDF guide. It's got 9 different ways to do whatever. What's your framework? What are the 9 ways that somebody can become better at whatever it is you do? Okay, PDF guide. Boom. There you go. There's a really fast, easy way. Okay. This right here, this is from Carrot. These guys are in my inner circle. They're super awesome guys. They went through and said, okay, they're helping their business helps real estate real estate investors and real estate agents, stuff like that, to generate leads. So they're trying to figure out like, what do those people need? And so they said, okay, well, here's the SEO investor keyword Bible. So here's all the keywords that our dream people want. So they found 70 keywords that their dream people want. And this guide is just, it's literally a PDF with 70 keywords. That's it. Okay. Again, sometimes we're overthinking. It's like, I got to write a 300-page ebook for my lead bag. No, these are 70 keywords in a sheet, but they're the keywords that their dream customers want. Their dream customers can see it and be like, oh my gosh, I have to have that. And they're going to opt in because the lead magnet speaks directly to what they actually want. Okay. Here's another carrot one. These are, this is Get Advantage of the PPC guide and keywords. Okay. So they analyze 3 million PPC terms and 5,000 house sellers. And these are the 800 most profitable seller keywords. Okay. Again, there's the story about how they learned they earned it. We analyzed 3 million PPC terms, 5,500 house sellers to find these 800. You want them? Give me an email address. I'll give it to you for free. Boom. Okay. So what's the story about how you learned or you earned this lead magnet? See how it weaves right into there? Very, very simple. Very cool. Okay, these are Ad Espresso. Ad Espresso's got tons of really cool landing pages. I'm going to show you a couple of them. These ones are all just examples. Okay, they screenshot of 500 Facebook ads, and you give them, that's the lead magnet. Give me an email address, I'll give you 500 ads. Okay, they have one for Twitter ad. Here's 500 cool Twitter ads, and here's 137 cool Instagram ads. Right? It's just the byproduct what they're already creating anyway. They probably have a swipe file of all their favorite ads. They just put them together. That became the lead magnet, which is super amazing. Right? How many of us wouldn't want to see the 500 most amazing ads, the 500 best Twitter ads, like amazing lead magnets here as well. Okay. And here's a couple more of mine. Again, my top 22 sales funnels, right? Here's my framework. It's 20 different sales funnels we use inside of our business. Boom, get the Funnel Hacker Cookbook for free. Just give us your email address and we'll give it to you in exchange. Okay. The Marketing Secrets Black Book. Again, this is one of our highest converting landing pages of all time. It took me less than 5 minutes in ClickFunnels, 270,000 leads. And it was just basically an ebook that we traded to them in exchange for the email address. Okay. So you see how it works, how you're taking like the frameworks, the ideas, the things, the proprietary systems, all the stuff that you're already doing, and you're just taking out sexy things and you're tweaking them and telling the story behind them to make them something that people will want. Okay. Lead magnets are super fun and super easy to do. Okay. Lead magnet number 4, demos and case studies. Okay. This works really good if you've got a product, like a software product. Demos work really good. If you've got a demo, and demos and case studies kind of go together. In fact, I'll show you 2 of them. Okay. So left-hand one here, this is a case. This is an older funnel we did, but it was a case study. We had somebody, they had a tiny list of, I can't remember how many people. I think it was like less than 1,000 people. And they made $89,000 to the list in less than 3 days. And so the video was a case study. Like, give me your email address. I'll give you a case study of how this person did it. And then they put the email address in, and then it was case study. All right, this is the person's name. This is how it worked. Step 1, they did this. Step 2, step 3, step 4. And I just walked through a case study of how they did the thing. And that was the lead magnet. Okay. Very quick, very easy to do. And it was very profitable. So think about for you, like, who are your customers? Who are your big success stories? Who are those people that you can use? Right. And then tell their story. So if someone opts in, you get the case study of how they did whatever they did. Okay. During the break right now, we showed Colin Wade's case study. That guy went from 0 to, I think he shipped his millionth product in less than, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. So we have the case study video that you guys just saw during the break. I could easily make a lead magnet and said, hey, find out how one e-commerce seller sold over 1 million units inside of ClickFunnels for free. Put your email address in there. They put email address in. Boom, they see the case study video next page. Like, simple, fast, easy. I can do all, like, literally overnight. So that's the case study side. So think about your business. Who do you have a case study? The case study can be about yourself, could be about a student, could be about a customer, a client, could be about a case study of somebody else you saw in a different market. Right? It doesn't have to be a case study of you specifically as much as, like, oh my gosh, I saw this person over here killing it. Let me show you what they did. Boom, 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 boom. And that could be the case study that you use to give somebody, to get somebody's email address as well. Okay. So there's case studies, demos. Okay. If you've got a product like ClickFunnels or Funnel Scripts, demos are huge, right? In fact, Funnel Scripts, the entire company, which is a 2 Comma Club X company now, was all built based on, like, someone registering to see a demo of ClickFunnels. Okay. Free webinar demo shows you the new Funnel Script software that actually writes your copy for you. Put your email address in here, and I'm going to show you a demo of how the software actually works, okay? So demos and case studies are great lead magnets, and all of you guys can think of, like, what's a case study you could create? What's a demo you could create? You can do it almost overnight in any market you want. Okay, lead magnet number 5, quizzes, okay? Now, quizzes are really cool, and there's a couple reasons why I like these. Quizzes are good because it lets you also be able to segment your list based on different responses, right? So one of my favorite quiz funnels, this one right here, it's the acidic quiz. How acidic is your body? And you start the test right here. So you click on start the test right now, and it pops up and it asks you a bunch of questions. Okay, it takes you to a quiz. Like, all right, do you eat this, this, this? Is your body shaped like this, this, this? And there's like 20 different questions it takes you through. When you get done with that, then it generates all your results saying, based on the quiz you took, it looks like you are this kind of person. Boom, put your email address in, and we're going to send you a customized report to you. You put in a customized report, and it sends you to a sales page that has a customized report for you specifically. Okay. So this obviously is not my funnel. I wish it was. I love it. And I've gone through it probably 100 different times, doing different answers, different things. And every time it takes me to a different path. I see different sales letter, different report, different things like that. So we've done it inside ClickFunnels a couple times. Let me break down how a survey funnel works as a lead magnet. Okay. So we did inside ClickFunnels. We had a page like this. Mia saw it. It says, ClickFunnels gives you everything you need to market, sell, and deliver your product online. And then the quiz says, take this short quiz to find out which funnel work for your specific type of business. One of the biggest questions we get all the time is like, what funnel should I use? And so we have this little survey here where they go through and they tell us like, which one of these 10 businesses are you? So they click on that first and they start going through and we ask them a bunch of questions to figure out what business they are, that they actually are, right? So you go through the quiz and then from there, they answer all the questions. And by the time they finish all the questions, then I know which type of business they are. I know if they're a physical product, they're local business, they're a coach, if they're a network market, I know what they are after they finish all that, right? So then it's done, we calculate the results. Here's some examples of the questions. Then we calculate the results. Looks like this, calculated results, boom, and it pops out and says, okay, based on what kind of person you are, we have different landing pages, right? So we have different sales pages. So if they are in network marketing, they see this one right here at the top. If they are in a local business, they see that one. If they're an information product, they see that. We've got one for all 10 different segments of our market there. So they put the email address in there, and then from there, they see different sales letter based on who they are. Okay, so that's the funnel we drive people through. Now, quizzes are amazing because it's funny because I've never been someone who takes quizzes, but for some reason people love taking quizzes and surveys and things like that. And it's a really easy thing to drive traffic to build a list, typically really, really profitably. And it also segments your list. Now I know when people come through this funnel, I know that these people are selling e-commerce products. These people are local businesses. These people are network marketers. And I can speak to them differently. Like I have a sub list for each one of them. And that's one of the other powerful things about a survey funnel. Okay, and that's kind of how the survey funnels work. Yeah, that's the process right there. Okay, next time lead magnet are summit funnels. I told you guys earlier, this summit, all it really is a really good lead magnet. Okay, and we did a lot of them. This is our affiliate bootcamp summit that we did about a year ago. And basically, when someone comes here, they say, okay, I'm going to give you an email address. I'm going to join the summit exchange. You hear interviews from like 15 different people about this topic. Okay, so summits are great for you because think about it, like in your business, what could you do a summit on? Okay, this is our affiliate one. Again, they opt in and then we have all these, they get 3 days worth of interviews from all the people who have been successful affiliates. So we just found who are the, 20 or so most successful affiliates inside of ClickFunnels. We had them each do a video of them explaining how they do what they do. We plugged it in here and that became the lead magnet and we drove traffic to it. And this one's generated hundreds of thousands of leads for us through this affiliate bootcamp summit funnel. Okay, same thing here with the 30 days summit funnel. They come through here, they go through the process. We had, I think, 30 people tell us if they were to lose everything and they had 30 days to start over, what would they do? And it's become a super highly successful lead funnel for us as well. Okay, so my question for you is, what kind of summit could you create? Now, my favorite summits are ones based on a question. Okay, and what's fun about it is we have a new summit coming out live. And it's for brick and mortar. It's called Brick and Mortar Funnels. It's for brick and mortar style businesses. This one was for people who are just getting started. The affiliate bootcamp one was people who want to be affiliates. But if you look at all these funnels, the one thing is that basically they all tie into one simple question. Okay, so for the 30 days one, if you've ever been to 30days.com, you can see this in action. It's still live right now. But basically the question is, you suddenly lose everything. Right? You lose your business, you lose your JV partners, you lose your list, you lose everything. And all you have is your internet marketing knowledge and ClickFunnels software for 30 days. What would you do to get back on top in 30-day window? I want to know day one, I do this, day two, day three, and then walk them through the process. So that was the question I asked 30 people. 30 people each wrote a chapter about this and made a video explaining it. And that became the lead magnet. Okay. So someone comes in to opt in and they go through the process and all these 30 people answer the questions from different perspectives. Okay, affiliate bootcamp was the same way. If you wanted to be an affiliate, you just lost your job and you want to become a full-time affiliate, and you had 30 days to figure it out, what would you do from day 1 to day 30? Day 1, I do this, day 2. And so we had people write a chapter about what they would do and make a video explaining it. And that became the lead magnet. Okay, for the brick and mortar summit, you're never going to guess what we did. We asked a bunch of brick and mortar people saying, look, if you were to lose, I should have said, like, if the coronavirus hit and you lost your traffic, what would you do to get back on top in 30 days? But all the people wrote a chapter about what they would do in ClickFunnels in 30 days to get their local business back online. Okay, so for you, think about it, like you could do something very similar with your summit. Okay, like if swimsuit season was happening in 30 days from now and you had to lose 15 pounds in the next 30 days, what would you do from day 1 to day 30 to get in swimsuit season fast, right? That could be the question. Or it could be if something bad happened and you lost your job or maybe you're about to retire and you want to invest in stocks. What would you do in the next 30 or whatever it is, right? But you see how the process, these summits are very simple to put together. You ask one question, they're very similar. You ask a whole bunch of people their opinion on it. That becomes the summit. You plug it in, and now it becomes an amazing lead magnet for you as well. Okay, so summits are great lead magnets. All right, lead magnet number 7. We're down 2 more, 7 and 8. We're getting towards the end. You guys getting some ideas, hopefully? I hope the ideas are spinning in your head. All right, lead magnet number 7 are contests. Okay, this is an example of a contest that I did a while ago. When I first learned about Bulletproof coffee, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I learned about Bulletproof, the movement and what they do and the products and services. And I realized a lot of their customers have a lot of customer overlap. For me, I was like, I want to figure out a way to like attract these customers into my world. So I did is I went and bought $500 worth of Bulletproof stuff. I bought everything, and I did a contest. I said, opt in here, and I'm going to be giving away this whole kit of stuff for free. And so this became lead magnet, was the contest. And then we bought ads to Bulletproof's people. And I think hopefully the video will work. You guys want to see the video of how I did this contest? Here's the video if it'll work. Hey everyone, my name is Russell Brunson, and I'm here today because we're doing a very special giveaway where I'm actually going to be giving away $500 worth of Bulletproof products, and I'm super fired up and excited. We're giving away a sleep induction mat. We got MCT oils, we got coffee, we've got pretty much the entire suite of Bulletproof products. And normally, if you were to go to this Bulletproof store right now and buy this, it would cost you over $500. But we're going to be shipping it to one of you guys completely for free. There's nothing you need to do to win this contest except for put your email address down in the form below. And when you do that, you'll be automatically entered into a contest to win all this stuff for free. And I'm excited. I'm going to be giving this away and boxing it up and shipping it out to one of you guys. So if you want to win this, all you got to do is put your email address down in the form below, and you'll be entered into the contest to win this entire suite of Bulletproof products. Thanks. Fill out the form below, and I'll see you on the next page. All right. Do you see how that works? And then literally I just went to Bulletproof. I bought ads on their YouTube channel, their Facebook page, their Instagram, like everywhere, and just told all their people like, hey, I'm doing a big contest. Come over here. And we got hundreds and hundreds of people to come and join the list for the giveaway. And it was a really cool thing. Okay. So what kind of giveaways could you do? Could you do with your own product, do someone else's product? I had an idea. I haven't done this yet, but I had an idea to like go to eBay and buy like Dan Kennedy's, all his old products, or all Tony Robbins' old products, and do the same thing. Be like, hey, here's all the original vintage Tony Robbins courses from back in the day. Come opt in here, and we're going to give this whole package to somebody, right? There's tons of cool ways you do contests like that, right? Is just go and find a bunch of stuff and target the audience who would love it and give it away. I saw somebody who did a Rogue gym giveaway the other day where they basically went to Rogue and said, how much would it cost to build a pimped out gym? They got a picture of what it would look like and said, okay, we're going to be giving away this gym. Value is like $10,000 to one person. And they bought ads to it like crazy. They're generating leads like 30 cents a piece for people entering this contest to win the Rogue gym. And then they got this huge list of people. They gave one person, they gave the Rogue gym to, send $10,000 of equipment to that person's house. And then they had 30,000, 40,000 people on this list, and they started selling them Rogue equipment to the email list because they know these people are interested in Rogue gym stuff, and they became an affiliate for Rogue and started selling all their products, and made a really healthy, really successful business based on that as well. Okay, you guys getting this? Are the wheels in your head spinning, I hope? Here's another one. This is one of my friends. These are actually amazing and horrible at the same time. So these are these edible cookie dough shot glasses. What happens, you take cookie dough and you jam them into these things, and then you cook it, and you pull it out, and then you pull it out, and you have cookie shot glasses, and you pour milk in the cookie shot glass, you drink it, then you eat the whole cup. It's pretty amazing. So she was trying to generate a list of people like crafty stuff like this, and so she was giving away a thing for free, cookie dough things. This was the lead page, or the lead squeeze page, a contest to win one of these. And what's crazy is that they'd opt in to win it. And on the thank you page, she's like, hey, congratulations. Or she say, we're gonna be picking a winner next week. But if you want one right now, there's a link down below to buy it. And then they have a link that would go directly to Amazon store where people would buy it. And it was crazy because on the thank you page, selling the product she was giving away, she was more than breaking even, and just building a list for free of tens of thousands of people through this process. And at the end of it, she gave a couple people, it's like a $5, $10 little thing. So think about that. Like, what do you have to give away? What do you have? What things do you have in your house? I could do a contest right now where somebody who opts in could get all my books for free, all signed, and Jim's book as well. And he'll sign. Like, that could be a thing. Like, I could walk in my house and like find stuff, walk around your office. Like, what are things you could give away? I could auction off one of these cool boards right here. Okay. For the entrepreneur who wants a huge whiteboard with big fat markers, opt in here. I'm going to be giving one person my actual whiteboard. Like, there's so many different ways you can do contests to start generating leads as well. That makes sense? This is another one. This is a company I did some consulting for. They're like at the time, this is probably 5 or 6 years ago, they're like a $50 or $60 million a year company. And 100% of the lead gen came from giving away guns. Okay, they said these gun giveaways, enter this gun giveaway, and they'd buy tons of leads and media into here. People will register to win a free gun, and they generate 200,000 or 300,000 leads a month giving away free guns. And then at the end of it, they take 300,000 people and they give one person a gun, and there's this list of 300,000 people. It's powerful. Okay, so contests like that are a very powerful way. Now I'm sure there's some contest laws I don't understand. You should probably talk to a legal lawyer person or I don't know something. But I know they work. And that's as far as I am able to consult you on. Past there, you have to hire legal advice. All right. And last one are just special offers, okay? And this could be a whole bunch of stuff, okay? Special offers, for example, my framework, the Perfect Webinar Framework, one of our highest converting offers still to this day is a piece of paper of the framework with the CD of me explaining the framework, free plus shipping. And this is a thing that generates so many leads. It is crazy. And it's just a piece of paper and a CD. That's it, okay? This right here. One day, I got from China, I think, or Hong Kong or something like that. I ordered these little preloaded MP3 players. I put my first 257 episodes of my podcast on an MP3 player, and it was free plus shipping. And we generated tens of thousands of leads by giving away these little MP3 players. People come and they pay for shipping. I mail an MP3 player. They became a lead now, and it was really, really powerful. So there's another really simple, really easy thing as well. My book offers, I showed you guys in the last session, we generate hundreds of thousands of leads come in off of these book funnels, okay? So having these funnels are great lead generators. Free push shipping offers are amazing. Here's two of them that I know that Ryan Dice and Perry Belcher created. One was give away free cufflinks, okay? They're trying to generate leads for their custom suit store. So they give away free cufflinks, okay? You just pay shipping handling, but then that free cufflink offer built lists hundreds of thousands of lists. This free credit card knife, when it first came out 5 or 6 years ago, I remember they launched this month number 1 on Facebook. They gave away 125,000 of these things on Facebook. People pay $295 shipping and handling or something. So got 125,000 paid leads came into their funnel before Facebook banned it. Then they've done since then millions of these things they've sold through other ads besides Facebook. In fact, so much so, I might be wrong on this. They can fix me, but I believe it's still the number 1 highest confiscated product ever in TSA history. People having these in the lines at the airport. So, but they generate a list of over 1 million people giving away these free credit card knives. Okay. So again, free plus shipping offers are a great way to lead magnets, get people in. Trey Llewellyn, one of his old ones, he gave away gun targets. And again, another way he built a huge list off of that. We did this for Camping World. We worked with Marcus Lemonis. We gave an offer, giving away 4 rolls of dissolving toilet paper because we're trying to build more lists, more leads to be able to sell campers and RVs and things like that too. So this was the offer we did for them. With FiberFix, this wasn't a free plus shipping, but it was a discount offer. I get 3 of their wraps for free, and you get basically 3 other wraps for free as well when you buy the 3. You buy 3 wraps, get 3 for free, and that became an offer that generated tons and tons of leads for these guys as well. Coupons, okay? A lot of people, especially retail businesses, like coupons, that's how Groupon built their entire business. You come here, opt in, give them the email address, you get 70% off discounts on stuff, okay? So if you're I have no idea for lead magnet, Russell, I listened to all these ideas, none of them work. Coupons, just do a coupon. Can you give 25% off, 50% off, 100% off? What would be, you think about if you're running coupons in the yellow pages probably don't work anymore. Newspapers, whatever. Okay, a coupon is literally just a lead magnet. That's all it is, right? So you can run the same thing online. Give me your email address and I'll give you 25% off the next visit, right? That can be a lead magnet as well. So coupons work good. Again, this is how Noah does it with AppSumo. They get 85% discount off of the Hod's Business Hacks. It's just a coupon code. Opt in here, you get a coupon to get stuff at a huge discount. Okay. All right. So we've gone through a whole bunch of ideas, 8 things, and probably 100 different ideas. Again, my goal is not to overwhelm you, but to give you I just want you guys to be thinking about a lot of different ways, because a lot of ways to do this. Okay, it's not just I need to write an ebook or just a report. It's there's so many ways to do it. Again, we'll go through the 8 types. Number 1 type we talked about was your own sales message. Okay, the sales video, the webinar, the sales letter, those things, there's value in those, and pulling out a hook out of that can become the lead magnet is your actual sales message. Number 2, related bridge content, finding things that are related. You can bridge people into the core thing you're trying to sell. To grab somebody, hooks them. Like for example, the Robert Kiyosaki video, right? Robert Kiyosaki video will pull people from real estate market in, right? And then from there, I can step 2, bridge them into my funnel right there. It's kind of a 2-step to bridge them into your product. Okay, your own frameworks. What are the processes, the things that you've created in the past? What are the byproducts of the stuff that you've developed that's sitting around in your office right now, right? What are the frameworks, the byproducts, all the stuff you can create that's already happening? You can look on your hard drive that can become really good lead magnets. Okay, I have so much stuff on my hard drive here that I can look at and be like, that could be a lead magnet. That, like, the problem I have now is there's too much stuff. Like, my team doesn't want 8,000 lead funnels, unfortunately, because we could do it. I guarantee you got the same things, okay? I had one friend, his framework that he sold, it was him and his wife. It was Matt Basak, so I don't know if Matt's watching this now, but it's him and his wife, this is a couple of years ago, laying in bed, talking about their business. They called it like pillow talk. He's like, what my wife and I talk about late at night. And they literally just sat in bed and recorded them talking about business. That became a lead magnet that generated tens of thousands of leads, okay? So it's just like these little things like that, like a conversation that you record could become the thing, okay? A checklist becomes your framework, okay? A process, a system, a Trello card, like all those things can become your framework that fast, okay? All right, demos and case studies, demoing your product, telling a case study about yourself or you or one of your students doing a thing. Those are amazing lead magnets, okay? Summits are one of the easiest, not easiest, take a lot of time to put together, but one of the most powerful lead magnets because people are opting in to get access to a whole bunch of people answering a question that they may have as well. Okay, quizzes are a great way not only as lead magnet, but then to segment your list based on what their actual interests are, so you know how to follow up with them in the long term. Contests are great ways to build a huge list by doing contests. And then last one is just special offers, coupon codes, discounts, free plus shipping offers, things like that to get leads and people coming into your world as well. And so those are the 8 type of lead magnets I want to talk about today. And I hope that gives you guys tons of ideas for you for what kind of lead magnet you want to do. So my homework assignment for you today is to figure out what's the first lead magnet you're going to create. Okay, I don't want you stressing out. Don't do the one where you have to write a 35-page report. Maybe in the future you can do that. Instead, figure out like what's the process I can do, what's the challenge, what's the contest, what's the thing I can put together, and put it together quick. That's the power in ClickFunnels. You should be able to create any of these lead funnels in 10, 15 minutes max. If it takes longer than that, then you need to start getting on your ClickFunnels skills because it's not that hard. Okay, the funnel I showed you that's generated 270,000 leads took me less than 5 minutes. It was a headline, picture of the thing, opt-in box, done. Like that's it. It does not have to be fancy design. If you looked at most of the ones I showed you, it's like a picture of the thing, a headline, and an opt-in box. That's it, right? It's more valuable and more important. It's like how sexy is that thing? How sexy is lead magnet? How cool is it? What's it sound like? What's it look like? Hiring a designer to design a good-looking picture of it you can put on the landing page is more valuable than you spending 5 years trying to write the thing. Okay, it's the perception that makes people excited. Okay. So those are the 8 types of lead magnets again, and that's it for module number 2 of List Building Secrets. So with that said, I'm going to tell you guys what's going to be happening tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to be getting started basically at the same time as we did today. So it's 12 noon Eastern time, 9 Pacific, and we're going to be going now into the next section. Okay, so we've talked about the business model as a whole of having a list. Number 2, we talked about the lead magnets to get people to come in and give you the email address. Now tomorrow we're going to be talking about now that people came into my world, they just gave me a lead magnet. Now what do I do with them? I've had people who built lists of tens of thousands of people and they're too scared to email them. I don't know what to send them. What should I say? Like, what if they get mad? What if they unsubscribe? And they just don't do anything? It's like, you missed it. Like, you can't make $1 per month per name on your email list if you don't send them emails. Like, you have to be sending them some, and you have to be sending stuff consistently, constantly, not just once or twice every once in a while. Okay. Now, some of you guys may have a list and it's dead. Okay. Some of you guys don't have a list yet and you're scared because when someone comes in, what do I send them? So tomorrow's session, I have a special guest speaker coming. I'll introduce her tomorrow. But she's going to be talking about number 1 is like when somebody joins your list, if you already have a list, but you haven't emailed them in a week or a month or a year or however long, and you're scared that they're dead, how do you revive those people? How do you get them to come back alive? Okay, she's going to talk about the campaign she does called the Subscriber Reviver, where you bring them back to life. Okay, now the second is if someone's coming in new, like how do you tell your story in a way that gets them to listen to you, to be connected with you, so they'll keep opening your emails moving forward. Okay, I call it a soap opera sequence. She's got a different name for it. I'm going to have her walk you through that tomorrow morning, which is going to be so cool, and hopefully give you guys the frameworks for how to write that initial email sequence for when someone's joining your list. Okay, then after the break, we come back. I'm going to be sharing with you guys my follow-up funnel campaigns. And I got some special guests sharing. I will tell you some of their names. One of the special guests may or may not be Mr. Frank Kern. He's going to be sharing with you one of his follow-up funnel campaigns that he does that I'm excited for. Another one may or may not be Julie Stoyan. She's going to be sharing with you guys a really cool pressure launch campaign. So if you got a new product you're launching. Another person who may or may not be speaking is Mr. Steven Larson. He might be sharing one of his campaigns. And I'll be sharing 3 or 4 of mine as well. And these are campaigns. Now you have this list. Like, what do I do with it? How do I make the $1 per month per name, or $3 per month, or $5 a month or more? Like, what do I send them? How do I do it? How does that part of it work? Okay, so in the morning we talk about when they first come on, the onboarding, like the sequences to warm them up and get them to build connection with you. And the second one's now, what are the campaigns we do to be able to generate sales, to create excitement, to create buzz, to get people to keep opening our emails, keep looking forward to getting stuff from us. And so that's what tomorrow's going to be all about: emails, follow-up funnels, and things like that. I'm excited. Hopefully today gave you guys a lot to think about, a lot to chew on, a lot of ideas like what you can be creating to get the leads. And then tomorrow we'll talk about what to do now that we got them. So thanks you guys so much again for hanging out today. I appreciate you all, and I will see you guys all tomorrow.